That's pretty funny. Thanks for the donation, Aaron. Trump donated $2. Vivek dropped out last night. MAGA 2024. Yeah, I already know. Old news. Trump promises Vivek an administrative position running the White House 7-Eleven. That's good. Thanks for the donation, Trump.
Have the same amount.
Sure, hypothetically,
No, my
I don't
friend,
think
my
you can
friend.
find a human that's hypothetically
My
the same
friend,
as
my
a
friend.
cow.
Are you gonna run away from the question? The question is this: hypothetically, you know what a hypothetical is?
I do know what a
If you woke up tomorrow and this was true, this was the reality, there was humans that had the same amount of sentience and intelligence as cows, would you be in favor of artificially inseminating them for milk? No, that's the question for you. My question for you: yes or no?
Oh yeah, okay, yes, I
You
would
will
say.
be in favor of that?
Yeah,
Of
I would be.
artificially
If the
inseminating
sentiment-
humans?
Yeah,
A human,
if,
it wouldn't
yeah.
have the properties of a
I
human.
don't want to be the victim.
What do you
What do you
mean
call it a
properties of a
human?
human? What do
Because
you
it's
mean?
not.
So they'd be in favor of raping mentally disabled human beings to produce milk. That's... Yeah, and these people are supposedly Janes.
Only
That's
one
what I
victim is
probably
also.
wouldn't define for you unless I wrote
So,
like a
artificially
50-50 page.
inseminated
No,
someone.
name the trait, my friend.
Even
Name the trait.
Sorry, what's your name and
What?
your name? What is your name? sir?
Eddie.
Eddie. And your
Eddie,
name?
short for Heriberto.
Eddie.
Heriberto.
And you?
Guillermo.
Guillermo. Eddie. And okay, so guys.
No, not Eddie. Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie.
Heriberto and Guillermo.
Heriberto, yeah.
Okay, so you know the thing is that even in our religion, I wanted to
By
finish
the way,
his.
your son
No, no.
contradicted himself, so I wanted to keep the dialogue with him, by the way.
No, I just wanted to finish one thing. What he
Yeah.
was saying on the same note, that in our again we go back to our religion, right? Because that's what the philosophy we follow, and that's what we try to live. So in our philosophy, also it says that human life is extremely important life. Okay, human life, because. You can do so many good things. You can go so much higher spiritually, but by only in a human birth,
Like
birth,
religiously.
not by
Bitch, you're in favor of raping mentally disabled people. Like, is this peak spirituality?
No,
religiously,
but
but
humans
not
can
by
meditate,
cow,
cows
not
Okay,
by
but let me
being
ask you
allo-
this. Let me ask you this.
Okay, let me respond
So
to
I
what you
wanted to-
thought the
right,
contradiction was. I
you
named
do
two
you do
traits,
understand
right?
there's in society right now in existence there's intellectually disabled humans, right? There
Right,
are.
I
There are.
named two traits, right? I named consciousness and intelligence.
Yes.
There are many more things that distinguish a human from a cow. And if every single one of those traits of a human was exactly the same as a cow, not just those two, if every single one was the same, that would no longer be a human.
Yes.
It would be a cow.
or an animal.
No, but
or
I'm
a
just
human
asking.
animal.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I'm just asking for the thing that
There's no one thing.
Ju-
I'm telling you, there's
that
like
gives you because you do have a difference in attitude.
I do.
about the two
I do
contexts.
believe there's a
Yes.
difference between
Yeah,
humans
so
and
I'm just
animals.
asking. I'm just asking, what is the trait or group of
there's-
traits?
okay,
that
listing
is
that
true.
group
No,
of traits
can I
would
ask the
take me
question?
too long.
What is the trait or group of traits that is true of the animal, and if it was true of the humans, if it was, would justify that same thing to humans in your opinion?
I don't think I can reduce it to a group of traits. It would take me like hours of thought and like argumentation
dissection
to describe exactly what's the difference between a human and an animal. I believe there's a difference. I can't tell you what it is right
Hey,
now.
if you can't articulate the difference, maybe there's not a morally significant difference at all. Maybe you should look.
Maybe
into,
I just can't
no,
articulate it. How can you know that I can't articulate it versus there isn't?
And that's what
I
the
believe there. I
spiritual
believe
path-
there isn't. There
Okay,
is.
but what if I believe there is?
Like,
How,
the only-
can you
for me-
articulate to me the difference then?
the
The like
yeah. Yeah, what was I gonna say? That for me, the only morally significant trait in the universe is sentience. Like that's the only thing that matters. Like that's what gives moral
Okay,
worth to a being.
But you just said sentience. The grass is sentient. The bugs are sentient.
If
There's
it's
sentience everywhere.
Grass
sentient,
is
if
not
panpsychism
sentient.
is true and they're sentient, they matter too.
I think
They
there's a
matter.
pretty strong argument that it's true. I mean, I don't walk
And
on the grass.
is
If
there,
if I can
is
avoid
there a
it,
way
I
to
will- I avoid it.
quantify sentience? Like, sure, you believe in sentience.
also levels
right?
of sentience,
There's
right?
levels of sentience.
So that's a contradiction. He's saying if I can avoid causing harm to a sentient being, I would. Well, he's obviously not, since he's still consuming dairy.
quantifying the differences in levels of sentience.
Yeah, so
Like
how
about
I
clams? How about clams and oysters? Are they alive?
I'm in
What
favor
about
of
sea
eating
sponges?
oysters.
See, you are in favor of eating oysters.
Yeah, yeah.
I would never eat an
Yeah,
oyster because to
see-
me it's an animal.
Yeah.
I don't believe they have
So you
sentience.
eat
But see, you're
clams?
quantifying the sentience.
Like again, he's in favor of causing harm to cows by eating dairy, but then he wouldn't eat like a non-sentient animal like a clam or an oyster. And his only fucking excuse is, well, I'm not perfect.
I don't
some
eat
way.
them, but
And
I believe it's ethical to eat.
I haven't
No.
heard you
See-
tell me how you quantify the
Okay,
sentience.
can I
Sure,
say,
tell me.
it? Okay, so for me, like in order to determine that a being is, because like obviously in philosophy there's the problem of solipsism, right? You don't know like anybody else outside of you is sentient, right? You can't prove it for sure.
Yeah, you can,
But we
sure.
can use analogy in behavior. Yeah, we can use analogy in behavior. You can see the behavior of other beings, and that behavior is similar enough to mine. That's one thing, and the other thing is anatomical, like similarities in anatomical structures, like brains.
Sure, cows' behavior is very different from mine. I could argue that
Not that different.
I don't sit around eating grass all day.
But
I
some-
have a job. I have.
And
Some
cows-
humans,
and cows
but
don't
some humans
study
are
physics.
intellectually disabled to the degree that by
You're
looking
talking
at
about,
their
like, edge
behavior.
cases of humans and the most
Yeah,
brilliant
marginal
cow
cases.
versus the
Marginal
the
cases,
stupidest
but
human.
those
Cows-
marginal cases matter to you too.
I don't.
right? You
no,
wouldn't
I
murder
think,
them,
I
right?
think you should make the argument based on the most general and most applicable case.
No,
I mean,
no, I'm looking
humans
up.
don't-
I'm looking for inconsistencies in your
humans-
view, and I
humans
found
don't-
them. Like
humans-
even if it's in a marginal case, it's still an
Okay,
inconsistency.
Sure, find
Yeah.
these marginal cases can be very easily constructed hypothetically. Find me a case where a human is the same as a cow. Find a brilliant cow.
Okay,
or
I'll
a-
find it right now. Using the magic wand of philosophy, I'll put out a hypothetical. Let's say
Right, see this hypothetical.
Let-
So you
let's
can
say-
use hypotheticals to
Yeah.
find edge cases of any argument. But if those edge
Yeah, so if there are things that conflict with your values, then clearly there's an issue with your values.
cases can never come up in actuality,
Yeah.
what's the point?
that
of
doesn't matter.
considering
It doesn't matter. Like what
does matter,
The
because-
information that's important to me is I'm trying to determine what your values are.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
And what
think my
extends
values-
logically from your values.
I don't.
And in
You can
order
have a value that
can I
doesn't
finish
extend
my point? Can I
logically
finish
to
it? You
additive.
should be able, like, if you have a consistent position, if you have a stable position, you should be able to respond to logically consistent hypotheticals. And those I don't see a contradiction with those hypotheticals. It could be the case that there are humans like that, right?
No.
It's possible that there's humans like that.
But I don't believe that your logical position needs to extend ad infinitum to any sort of like ridiculous hypothetical. I could say.
No, the
what
problem
if-
is this. The problem,
hypothetically, what if there's a
have you
clan
heard
that
about the
is as-
principle of explosion in mathematics and logic, right? The principle of
I have.
explosion, right? If you find a single contradiction in a moral system,
Okay,
it becomes
they-
completely useless.
Understood. This is
Yeah.
mathematics
So what
versus
were you
where, like,
saying?
But
Tell
what if
me.
there's an oyster that's
yeah,
brilliant? who can
this
study
is
physics?
me.
Then
What
it would,
hypothetically-
it would
No, no,
matter
Dinesh,
to me.
Sorry, he wants to
hypothetically,
finish one thing.
hypothetically,
Yeah.
you think eating clams is fine, right? Or like
Theoretically.
morally, you think eating
I'm
clams is
actually agnostic, but I lean towards
Sure,
it's fine.
let's say you think
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah.
What if I hypothetically give you a clam that can speak, feel, talk, do physics, whatever? Is this not the same thing? I've taken your
No, it
moral
would matter to
philosophy.
me. That oyster would matter to me.
That one matters to you. But
Of
what about
course.
the so? What I'm saying is,
If a plant is sentient, it would matter to me too.
okay, that brilliant cow matters to me. I wouldn't exploit it.
What do you mean the brilliant cow?
You're saying the
Yeah.
cow that it is as smart as a human.
She talks to her
Sure.
plants. I mean,
Yeah.
and they respond to
I
her.
Yeah.
don't
mean,
exploit it.
I'm not sure
Okay,
I was talking about. I was
let
doing it
me-
reverse. A
okay.
human that was as smart as a cow, I was saying.
Okay, give me like a human that's as dumb as a clam. Would you eat it?
Yes.
It's the exact
Okay, so a
same
human that is
reduction
not
of your
sentient. So are you
argument.
saying if I would eat a dead body?
No, because is the
I would
clam
eat a dead
dead?
body if I
Same.
Is the clam dead?
Same. I don't
Like,
see
if it was
ethical
like
issue with
Is
it.
the
roadkill or
clam-
something,
If it's a roadkill,
Like, when you're talking about something being dead or alive, I mean, like in a meaningful sense, yeah. Like if you don't have a consciousness, you're like technically dead. Like you could talk, like you could say something could be biologically living, but in terms of being conscious or unconscious, you could see unconsciousness as being dead. So I don't see a meaningful difference between a live oyster and a dead human.
And
clam
it
dead.
didn't cause any extrinsic
Right, if I
suffering,
had
no
to eat-
family members
Same
suffering.
with like monks, Buddhist monks, they'll
Yeah,
eat
I
roadkill.
mean, I
It's
believe
like,
there's no
wasn't killed
issue
for
with
that.
that.
If I
but
was hungry
the clam
and
is,
I had no
the
food,
clam is
I would
also
eat
not
that.
dead, right?
Sure, same.
Is the clam dead?
What?
Is the clam dead?
Plants
A
aren't dead
living-
either.
A living clam. If I gave you a human as stupid and as incapable as a clam, isn't that the same reduction of,
Well, so
your
that-
argument
okay,
just
so-
to a different?
So he's conflating intelligence and sentience. No matter how stupid a human being could be, it would still be sentient. It would be a non-sentient human. So somebody with like, what is it? Anencephaly. That would be the comparison, not like a severely mentally disabled person.
Let me respond. So, yes, I would say yes. If it
So
was to
how
the
is
same
this a
degree,
difference?
if it was to the same degree, which means no sentience or no or
See,
like.
this is where we differ. I don't believe that the clam has no sentience.
Well, that's actually an empirical question, right? If you provide
don't
me some
think-
evidence that they're sentient,
Give me evidence that it's not sentient. You're using analogy.
they
that
have no brain.
A different,
They have
Yeah.
no structure.
Yeah, they have no brain, they have no central nervous system, and they have a very small amount of nerve ganglion.
Structures.
How do you
that-
know? Okay, where have you ever heard that sentience is an emergent property of the brain? How can you prove that to me? How can
Well, like, it's not something that you can definitively prove. You have to make a series of inferences.
you prove that sentience only comes?
Like this would work both ways. If he's going to say, like, you can't know another mind, therefore, why would you assume that something is not sentient when you can't go into its mind to, like, say that definitively? That would also work the other way. How could you say it is sentient? So you have to make a series of inferences. The like logical inference being, okay, we have a brain and nervous system, other animals have a brain and nervous system, they're probably also sentient like us. This creature does not have a brain and nervous system, therefore it's probably not sentient.
Comes from the brain.
You actually can't prove anything in
can't-
science, right? Science is
but if there's also- but if there's also
provisional,
consciousness.
right? That's the
Okay,
current
but
consensus
you're-
between scientists is that it is.
Just because there's no CNS, there's no central nerve, doesn't mean that the thing is not sentient. Right?
Your belief
Like
is
you're
that
saying,
I don't
you're saying
know.
brain
a
and
brain
central nervous
causes
system equals
sentience.
sentience, and that's
I don't
not
believe.
necessarily
I don't
Yeah,
agree
again, this would work both ways. That also doesn't mean it is sentient.
with that. I don't
And you
agree.
could be right. And you
right,
could be right.
and so
right?
you can't.
But
make
I
arguments to
believe
a lot-
sentience is an emergent property of brains.
and I don't. So there's a
That's a
fundamental
main,
difference in
main
our
difference.
posits.
See, that's where
If
we
our
differ.
axioms are different,
Yes.
we can't argue or
We
agree on
think
anything else.
that even
and
something
you can't
does
tell me
not
that
have
I'm wrong.
brain,
I can't tell
like
you that
maybe
you're
Oh,
wrong.
but I
doesn't
can
have
still do
brain.
an internal critique of your view, assuming all your
Right, and
empirics are
by
true.
the- by
But
the
you are
same-
right about the dairy. We agree on that.
We totally agree on that.
We
Yeah,
are-
and
They're
please,
not.
and we
please
will
look
make-
into
yes,
stop
we
being a
will make-
hypocrite. Like they
yes,
matter,
We
man.
rarely,
Come on.
We
we rarely
know,
dairy. It's
but-
really more
To
But
the
we will
victim,
make
it
it-
matters.
but we will
Regardless
make
of
it-
how this,
I
it matters
I
to the
agree with the
victim.
dairy.
Yeah.
I'm just
Tonight
taking
when you
your,
guys- tonight when
the
you
way
guys
you
go
took
home,
my
try to
argument
avoid
to
the
a
grass,
logical
okay?
extreme.
I
by
would,
considering
I could,
a
but
human as stupid as a
I don't
clam.
believe they're sentient.
Because
so.
we have different posits
cows
and different
are, so-
assumptions.
And
I can take
sheep.
your argument
Yeah,
to
okay,
the
so
extreme
all
of
the
the
animals
can I
very
respond to
much.
him really important? So he said something really important. So the only difference is that I took your position into a reductio ad absurdum. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was your position ended up in a logical consequence that most people, upon hearing that position, in my view, would say that that's horrific. Like he would be in favor of exploiting intellectually disabled humans with low sentience and low intelligence. That's crazy. But I never at any point said anything that would be considered a reductio.
It's not reductio ad absurdum. It's like extending the argument to an illogical hypothetical. It's like a different logical technique, but it's still. If I applied the same thing you did to me and said instead of a cow, take it to a clam, it's the same thing but further.
Yeah, but what's
right?
the reductio in my view? What's the reductio? Like, what's the logical consequence that's hilarious or horrific in my view?
In your view?
Yeah.
Of
And
reducing
other-
a human to a clam?
Other people's.
And then eating the human that's as dumb as a clam? I
so
think that's pretty absurd.
Like
right?
Sorry, like
That's the reductio ad
taking
absurdum.
my position into consideration, right? That I believe there's no reason to
But see,
believe.
that's why
oysters are sentient.
I believe that's reductio ad absurdum and you don't. Because
What?
I believe the clam has sentience. You don't.
How? They only have
we-
ganglia, nerve
we've
ganglia.
just
They don't have
discussed
brains.
this. We've just discussed
brain
this
and
that you're.
CNS doesn't equal
We don't
sentience.
believe.
But you guys believe plants are sentient.
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
Exactly. So we do have different views
So we
on
have a
that.
fundamental
Exactly. So this is
The
why
fundamental
my
view
extension
is
of your
very
argument
different
is
than-
I don't think we
reductio ad
have
absurdum,
I
and
don't
you
think we
think
have
it is.
much difference in our values here.
No,
It's
no,
in
no.
our
We all believe in
wait.
minimizing violence.
Let me
Yes.
just.
and you guys could be right.
Because of this
panpsychism could
difference-
be true. I don't know.
Because of this difference in a definition of sentience, my extension of your argument has turned it into reductio ad absurdum, whereas to you it doesn't.
Yeah.
And because of this difference in definitions of sentience, we're not going to reconcile that. Because
And what's
this is
your
the
by the way, what's your definition of sentence?
I don't have a definition of sentience, but I don't believe
He
that
doesn't
a
study
brain.
biology, so he
But
Yeah,
what do
I-
you think? What do you think it
I
means?
couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I think I need to study my whole life
You know, in
and-
natural language and in your own words, what do you think
I
sentience
couldn't
is?
tell you. I think that anything that's alive
But,
is
like,
possibly
it-
sentient to a certain
But
degree.
when you use the word sentience, like
You're going to
give-
say it's the
give-
capacity to feel pain.
No, but give me a concept. What do you mean? What do you think it is?
Some sort of
Awareness.
awareness of surroundings, ability to have to
It's more than the ability to feel
yeah,
pain.
it's more
This
than the
one I
ability
like.
to feel pain. It's more than the ability to be able to choose your actions. It's it's
But
very difficult
it's
for
actually
me
it
to
was
define.
it was
right?
actually a good definition. The awareness thing, the way I define it is a capacity for subjective experience. So like having a mind, for example.
I don't
See,
think
for
having a mind is
example,
necessary
now
for sentience.
I'm just going
What do
on
you
a
mean?
different track
Like, I see it
here.
as I see it as
doesn't have a brain, but
No,
I
but-
think a clam is
No, but
aware
I
of
see
its
it.
surroundings.
I see it as synonymous. Mind and sentience. I see it as synonymous.
I don't.
See, I just
That's
want to
how.
A mind is analytically linked to sentience. If you have a mind, you are sentient.
say one more thing here. Like, and I'm
So you don't
talking
think
about-
oysters have a mind?
They don't have a brain.
I
They
think
don't
I
have
think
a central
oysters.
nervous
I think
system.
Yeah, so
oysters.
I think we
Like,
actually agree
what?
But I
in
think
that
they're still
definition of
sentient.
I
sentience.
think oysters
I
have
think they're
consciousness.
still
Yeah, but you're using a different definition of sentience.
Agreed. This
In-
is what I've been telling
in
you.
what
We
I-
disagree on our definitions.
Yeah, but
of
if we use
sentience, and
mind,
therefore-
then
Sure,
then-
if I use
yeah.
yours, then we come to the same conclusion. But
Yeah.
we don't.
Yeah,
I don't
but
agree with
then-
your
then-
definition of sentience.
So you
You're
understand
not
my
gonna
position
convince
better. I could say that
I totally understand your position.
The
I
only
just-
morally significant trait in the whole universe is having a mind. Now, I can
If
just say that.
Not
You-
a mind, not a mind. See, you're equating mind with sentience.
No, that's
not
his
It is.
position.
A mind is by definition sentient.
Equating those. So if we
That's
took
what I'm
his
saying, yeah,
position,
yeah.
we
Yeah.
would agree with you.
I
And
just
see,
use
we
it
are different
synonymously.
on that. We are not.
But-
Like
we
it's
don't
a
take your
capacity for
position.
subjective experience. It's having a mind.
But every religious tradition says go beyond the mind. The mind is not what defines consciousness.
Yeah.
So we're getting
I
into-
agree
Then I
with
don't
you.
understand
What the fuck does that mean?
what it would mean to be conscious beyond a mind.
I don't
know.
understand either, but
But
I don't believe
but
that
like,
it's,
for example,
it's
every
just a
religious
mind.
tradition, whether it's mystical
This
Christianity
is
or mystical
stupid.
Islam or Buddhism, all say go beyond the mind. The mind is not what humans are. The
Yes,
mind is not
yeah.
what creates sentience.
That's what the
mind
meditation is.
The mind is only part of what creates
Yeah.
consciousness. Anyways, we gotta go. But
Yeah, but
But it was
fun.
fantastic
It was
chatting
fun.
with you
Alberto,
guys. Best of
Guillermo,
luck.
all the best to
We
you.
hope you can
Keep
convert.
up the good work.
Keep up the good
Thank you.
work. Yes.
Oh my god. These people were monstrously fucking stupid. Jesus Christ, that was dumb. Alright, we'll react to some more shit. Let's watch Frank next. So I think he has some new shorts too. So he has a new meat vlog, I think. I don't think we saw this last night, so we'll watch that. I just have to go take a shit. I'll be right back. Just gotta make a quick... Oh. Oh. Okay. I do poop.
What's up, guys? The Asian American business owner is back. All jokes aside, I had a nice list of things to go over in this vlog written down, and I didn't email it to myself, so we're going on my mind, which hasn't been too reliable lately. Beef jerky is finally back. 100% grass-fed, grass-finished, plain, only salt added beef jerky, available on frankiesfreerangefoods.com. If you go to like Whole Foods or any grocery store, they'll have grass-fed beef jerky. It's like $8 for 2 ounces. Ours is about $10 for 4 ounces, so almost half the price, and it's plain, no soy sauce, no preservatives, no crappy non-organic ingredients. Plain beef jerky, simple. frankiesfreerangefoods.com. Ice cream, they messed it up again. It was better. The ice cream was better this time, but a little bit better. The vanilla, as I just said, vanilla was a little bit better. The strawberry was pretty good. It was passable in my book. It was as ice cream. The chocolate was too bitter. I don't know what they did with it, but I refunded everyone for the chocolate that I...
Dude, does Frank make any fucking money off the bullshit that he makes? The amount of refunds this guy gives for making, like, shit products is crazy.
think I remembered, but if you get the chocolate and you don't like it, just email me, I'll give you a refund. We still have the vanilla and strawberry listed, but I think I'm going to give away the vanilla ice cream next week, and then I'm going to go to the farm and show them how to make ice cream, because I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind. We're almost at 3 strikes. First time we sold the ice cream, we had to refund most of it. The ice cream was not good. This time, second time, they insisted it was good. I'm like 100% sure they didn't follow my recipe. I don't know what they're doing over there, but I'm going to find out. So we're going to give the ice cream away and see if... I'm guessing they're okay with doing it again, but I'm going to have to go over there and show them how to make it. And then if they say no, they don't want to, that answers my question of, okay, maybe they were just trying to save money and use more milk and less cream. I don't know. But that means you guys should support me as much as possible on Frankie's Free Range Meats. So, hey, maybe eventually I'll have my own dairy farm and be able to... The problem I have, guys, is if I'm the most reliable and consistent person involved in all of my business transactions, I don't know how we're still going, but whatever. That's definitely saying something when I'm the sharpest tool in the shed, sharpest tool in the box, however you want to put it. This whole week has been a complete nightmare. The weather wasn't that great here in PA, but it was apparently bad enough that FedEx didn't.
Jeez, his eyes are so cross-eyed. Udicum donated $2. Let me see.
Thank you very much. Oh, baby, let me be your teddy bear. Well, I put a chain around my neck, leave it anywhere. Let me be, oh, let me be your teddy bear. I don't want to be a tiger, his eyes play too rough. I don't want to be a lion saying you can you loving you, your teddy bear. Well, I put a chain around my neck and leave it anywhere. Let me be, oh let me be your teddy bear. I just want to be your teddy bear. Woo. Unsuspicious mind, we can go on together with suspicious minds who never know what I know. I'm about to say hello. Would I see special in your eyes? Do-do-do-do. Here we go again. And that's where I've been. Ooh, you can go see the tears I'm crying. This is crying. We can go on.
Why did he upload this?
With suspicious minds, and we can build our dreams on suspicious minds. Whoever never know. I'm about to say hello. Viva Viva Las Vegas, where neon flashing and the one crashing always goes down the drain. Viva Las Vegas, love me tender, love me dear, all my dream fulfilled. Oh, darling, I love you, and I always will. Love me tender, love me dear, oh my dream fulfilled. Me and the folk. Elvis has left the building, folks. Peace out.
I don't know why he did that.
Elvis Presley, thank you very much. I got peanut butters and jelly sandwiches. It's Elvis Presley. Thank you very much. It ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Hey, never gone in the rabbit, no friend of mine that said you was high class. No, there's just a line. They said you was high class. Oh, there's just a line. Hey, never gonna ram it, and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, yeah. Hey, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, yeah. Hey, crying all the time. Hey, never gonna ram it, and you ain't no friend of mine. And they said you was high class. Oh, it's just a line. And they said you was high class. Oh, it's just a line. Hey, never gonna ram it, ain't no friend of mine. Thank you very much. Good night. Elvis has left the building. Peace out. Bye.
Alright, that wasn't very good, but thanks for the donation, Booty Chem.
Show up Monday or Tuesday, which is really problematic because that's how we ship our orders, and they're supposed to all go out Monday and Tuesday. So I'm here at 4 p.m. and I'm like, where's the pickup? So I tell my guys to go home because they work till 4, and I'm calling around FedEx and they don't know why, and my rep doesn't know why they didn't come, and I end up getting a hold of some express trailer driver.
Less is more donated to others. Hey buddy, can you tell me the pros and cons to watching pornography, such as addiction, dopamine, desensitization, etc.? Hope you're feeling well after your doctor's visit. No, you can't help talk about yourself because you're officially a narcissist, but try. If you look at any large-scale studies on porn use, it's very rare that you ever see people who regularly watch porn develop addictions or have sexual dysfunction that's related to pornography. So whether or not you benefit or don't benefit from watching porn is highly individual. Doctor's visit went well. Basically, she said I wasn't raised properly and I might also have bipolar disorder, and I might also have schizophrenia. She didn't rule that out. So I'm just going to have a few more appointments. And she said I also likely have antisocial personality disorder. But thanks for the donation. Less is more. Appreciate it.
That ends up coming. So I wait here till 6 p.m. on Monday to ship all the boxes out, but we got them out. Am I blurry? It's too dark in here. So that was a bit of a nightmare, worrying if FedEx is going to come. We have all these boxes.
Dude, look at his fucking eyes. This eye's like pointed way in that direction, and this eye's just pointed like towards the camera. He fucked his eyes up so badly. Look at this shit. I still can't get over it.
Wait, Vegan Gains, did you hear that? What verified you want more? Well, here is more.
My name is Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley left the building, folks. Elvis alive, baby. It's sick, it's pissed. I'm gonna do. You ain't no more hound dog. Hey, all the time. class. No, just lying to you. As I said, you was high class. Oh, just lying to you. Hey, never gonna ram it, and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, yeah. Hang around and all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, yeah. Hang around. I don't wanna be a lion. Lions ain't your kind. I don't wanna be a tiger, 'cause tigers play too rough. Baby, your teddy bear.
Well, Jason Genova did that. Thanks for the donation, Booty Cum. Yeah, bro, $30,000 to become cross-eyed. He should get his fucking money back from that surgeon who fucked him up.
Boxes waiting, but they show up, so everything's okay. I make sure to speak to the rep, make sure they have a pickup scheduled for Tuesday, and I even go on.
Dude, that is so freaky. Like, just every time I see his, like, one eye just go in the other direction, it just looks so fucked up.
Mine, and I schedule another pickup for Tuesday just so they know to come.
Oh my god.
4 p.m. rolls around on Tuesday, they don't show up again. So I got the guy's number from Monday. I call up the same trailer driver from Monday. He comes over, makes it over there. Weather wasn't great, but again, it wasn't like horrible. So same nightmare happened on Tuesday. And then Wednesday, FedEx actually showed up for the first time, normal on schedule, and they claimed that they didn't come Monday or Tuesday because of weather, but they never told me. So I'm waiting here with these boxes, waiting for FedEx pickup, like losing my mind. And then, so those were like a few sleepless days. And then the power went out of my house, which is unrelated to the business, but that wasn't fun. So like I was working all day at the business, and then I go home and I couldn't sleep because the power's out. I need like my fan and stuff, and my house is like electric heat. So I got a generator hooked up now, so we should be fine. But enough babbling. Let me show you guys what's new this week. So look at the foods real quick, and then I'll show you guys the stuff in the freezer. Just a few granola bars left in stock, but we did make some more today, so we will have the granola bars back available. All the Best bars are in stock. We have Berry Best bars here. These are the chocolate, all the chocolate Best bars. Those are vanilla bars, and here we have some of the quinoa crisp. So we're getting there. Today we made, as I said, some more granola bars. We restocked the Totomi's cookies. Those should be available in a day or two on the website. And then we also made some pemmican with the fixed recipe, so it's not as hard. So Frankie'sFree-Range-Foods.com. Almost all the bars are going to be back in stock, available this week. Pretty much everything. We got the Best bars finally back. Granola bars, very delicious. When I was stuck here Monday and Tuesday, I was eating those granola bars. I crushed like 4 of them, dude. They're so good. They're so delicious. But then like when I went home, I wasn't hungry for a meal. So kind of filled myself up with biltong and granola bars. Quinoa crisp, always delicious. Granola bar is just a little more grain-based, you know, and more classic chocolate chip granola bar, whereas the quinoa crisp is more like fruit and nut, and if you're not a fan of oats and grains, then you go with the quinoa crisp. Pemmican, we're gonna have the new formula available, just blueberry honey, and then we should be able to make the plain pemmican as well. All the pickles, I think I showed you guys last vlog, the giardiniera, the sauerkraut, the garlic dill pickles, we're gonna have back. Let's see what's going on in the fridge. This is all the dairy that's gonna ship out on Monday. I think we're a little bit short, but hopefully not too short. Plenty of water kefir grains in stock. These are only like $5.50 a jar, $5 a jar on the foods website. Crazy low price compared to everywhere else online. We restocked the plain water kefir. I think we have all the flavors available besides apple. You know, we got regular plain, that's ginger lime, that's orange, that's grape, and that's pineapple. So only missing the apple. I think we're almost out of raw cookie dough. We're gonna have to make more this week. And then all the cheeses are not in stock. We're missing a few. I think Gouda, Raclette, some other ones. But we should be restocking some more cheeses this week, and then hopefully meat-wise and everything else, we should be back to kind of 100% after the breaks we had on the holidays. So now we'll check out the freezer. These are just some restocks. We got some tenderloin steaks. hard to get these nice sometimes, but these look really good. We got 1 pound lamb stew meat back in stock for you
So fucking gross.
lamb lovers. Sirloin steaks, 1 pound. There's a price reduction on these. I think they were like $15 or $16 a pound. Now they're down to $12 a pound. Over there is just some organ grind. That's some chuck stew meat. What I'm kind of excited about is we got the Vichy swab back in stock. If you guys buy this, please let me know how you like it. I put a lot of effort into this, and it's really, really special product to me, so definitely leave a review, send me an email. Most of the corn and soy-free chicken is in stock, but you know, we're starting to run a little low, and our farmer won't have any until spring, so we should be good for another 2 or 3 months though, I think. We did run out of beef tendons, but you guys can just buy our collagen broth.
What the fuck? Beef tendon?
Instead of making it yourself with the beef tendons. This is the 95.5 lean blend. Basically, like no fat in this ground beef. Very little fat. And that's not really even fat, that's more like connective tissue. Even more restocks
so
over
gross.
here. This is a new affordable 93.7 ground beef. So, you know, just kind of like a generic store brand, but it's only $7.50 a pound. So if you apply like the 15% discount to this, you're basically paying like less than $6 a pound for grass-fed 93.7 ground beef.
Grey Knight $22. Avi updated his list of public figures that refused to debate him on Discord server lol. And I'm guessing VegSeps is now on that list. Thanks for the donation though, Grey Knight.
Beef, and that's the same price with the 85.15. So the 85.15, the 93.7, both super affordable, grass-fed, and then we have 80.20 available, but the 80.20 is packaged in bulk, 5 pound. This 5 pound chub of beef is only
Dude, who the fuck would buy this shit? Ugh. That's so much meat and it's so nasty.
only like $30 or something on the website, I think. We got flank steaks back, 1 pound flank steak portions. Picanha steaks are back in stock, 1 pound picanha steaks. These are really special, you know? That they're so affordable and the meat is so tender and they have a nice fat cap. So for what you're getting, there really isn't a better cut of meat than picanha. More of the best burger blend here. Honestly, kind of criminal that we only charge $11 a pound for ground up steak, but yeah, and that's like a pretty objective assessment of picanha. Just from like a factual, how tender it is, how much fat is on it, compared to how affordable it is, it's pretty interesting to me. Thankfully, it's not like too crazy popular here in the United States, because I bet it's more expensive in the countries where it's more popular. Yeah, so here's the ice cream. That's the chocolate I'm gonna send back to the farm. This is the vanilla. We'll probably give most of it away next week, free with your order. And this is the strawberry. And the reason I think this one turned out the best is because the organic strawberry that I sent them was like super high quality stuff. It was so expensive. When you taste this, you'll be like, wow, that's strawberry.
Strawberry ice cream is fucking disgusting and it's for degenerates.
It's pretty cool, it's pretty cool. I think we can get all of these even better, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. We did a price reduction on the oxtail, so you guys are kind of going through that. Not much to show you guys over here. These are the pipe cut canoe bones. Not canoe bones, the pipe cut marrow bones. Those are the canoe cut marrow bones. And we just have a small amount of marrow butter left. Plenty of beef heart. A lot of chicken I had to organize. This is all of actually the stewing chicken that we can't really sell because it's too tough from the farmer. We got a whole pallet of this cheap soup chicken. These are all the orders I did today, or not today, but over this week in the freezer. All by myself. What's that song? It's a song, right? All by myself. Yeah, there's a few things we're trying to restock. I was hoping the farmer was going to be able to get us some fresh beef, some more pet food, and what did I just show you? And some more beef liverwurst and stuff like that. Hopefully within a week or two. Hopefully. That's the main thing I'm waiting for right now. I showed you guys last week there was a major price reduction on the New York strip steaks, but also slight price reduction on the ribeye. Slight price reduction. I think the package was like 144. Now it's like 135. And let's be honest, guys, is anyone else enough of a gentleman to be lowering prices in times like this? I don't know. I just give all my money away anyway. Why do I even care? I bought my guys a new coffee machine because I came in one morning and they clocked in and I see him struggling with the coffee machine. I'm like, dude, like, I could spend $1,000 on a coffee machine and it'll probably save me more money and labor. This thing has pretty good reviews. I bought some organic coffee too, so maybe I'll have to have some myself. If we're grinding up fresh organic coffee beans with glass bottle mineral water in this machine and some raw cream, we'll see. I don't really need coffee because I take like the male virility, the beef testicle supplements usually, and my testosterone is adequate. And
that does absolutely nothing for your testosterone.
Like EMF blocking clothing, so like my energy levels, even if I'm dead tired, like I will usually not need coffee. Probably a few things I forgot because I didn't send myself my list. I didn't show you guys the jerky. So we got a decent amount of jerky. Very tasty stuff, very tasty stuff.
That looks like disgusting, rotten fucking shoe leather.
4 ounces is about $10, which is very affordable. I mean, most people couldn't eat this in one sitting, the 4 ounces. And then we have, I think the 8 ounces is a little more affordable. I think the 8 ounces is like $18 or $19. I don't remember. But if you buy 8 ounces instead of 4 ounces, it's more affordable. Yeah, the 8 ounce ones are down here. 8 ounce plain jerky. Actually close in flavor to the biltong, which I would say I probably still like the biltong a little more, but this is so expensive compared to the jerky. It's so much more expensive. Oh, I didn't show you guys in the freezer, but we also restocked the beef barley soup. I think we were only sold out for a week, so most of you guys probably didn't notice. So I don't know, even if we didn't have any legitimately new product, well, technically we didn't have strawberry ice cream before, right? So that counts as a new product, right? And then there's a few more ideas I'm excited about, but if I keep coming up with new products, I'm going to be sleeping here. I'm going to have to hire an army. There's a few things on the Naturals website. We're going to bring back the deodorant and maybe a new type of moisturizing cream. On the meat website, there's going to be a new fat product we're going to have. And then hopefully we got some new stuff coming towards the end of the month too. So yeah, over the next hopefully 4, 5, 6 weeks we'll get everything. And you know, there have been times where there's been a lot of times in my business where stuff like this happens. Where like last year we launched Giga Chad Gum. We had more recently we had like the beef tallow moisturizer and the remineralizing tooth powder. Like those were launched. Those are some new products. We did Lemon Light. You know, we got a lot of new stuff coming in and out. We've always had the Flextros in stock. Finally restocked the whey protein for you guys. Most affordable price online for 100% grass-fed whey protein. And I think we're gonna...
Yeah, a tiny little thing, and he's selling it for like $30 or $40.
We're gonna change the container size. Right now it's like, I think it's like about 1 pound of whey protein for like $15, $20. But we're gonna increase the container size next time.
Yeah, dude, that is such a fucking massive ripoff.
Lemon Light we launched last year. Natural collagen too. I don't really talk about this that much. I don't know. We might get in the regular like hydrolyzed collagen, which I don't know how they bleach it and stuff, but it's probably not too bad, and it's actually palatable from a taste.
Collagen supplements do not do anything. You need collagen peptides to actually have an effect on skin.
Perspective. But I don't know. Maybe I gotta test that natural collagen more to see how well it mixes up. But I'll stop rambling because I can't remember anything significantly important to tell you guys. If you go to frank-tufano.com, you will see all of my interesting, unique, and creative health businesses. From Frankie's Free Range Meat to Frankie's Free Range Foods, organ supplements, Wi-Fi shielding, Frankie's Naturals. Organ supplements, Wi-Fi shielding, Frankie's Naturals. Speaking of the foods, the potato chips, I tested them, I tasted them, they're still good. I think they're good for probably 2 or 3 more weeks. So we did a price reduction on the potato chips. They're like $4.25 a bag or something instead of $5.50 a bag. I mean, that's basically what it cost me to make them. So I'm just breaking even on the chips. But, you know, sometimes with business stuff, when you're like, especially with me when I'm censored and shadow banned and like,
Yeah, so I wonder why he's being censored and shadow banned. It couldn't have anything to do with his anti-vaccine propaganda, slandering people online, calling them gay, satanic Nazi Jews. Yeah, the anti-Semitic shit he's made up, accusing people of being pedophiles. And just he uploads fucking literal garbage videos. Yeah, I wonder why nobody's watching you.
guys, that lemon light product, a lot of the products I sell, Flextros, so special and unique and creative, and no one else is doing.
Frank literally thinks he's the only person selling like a carbohydrate powder on the internet, or a what is it? A electrolyte powder. I don't know how he thinks this. He's not the first person to sell something like that.
Doing them, and they're so good for your health. Like just the ratios, the ingredients, and all that stuff. Like, and then you just have the people with connections in the club, whatever, that are selling millions of dollars worth of their dog crap supplements. So for me, like, it's a little discouraging. But what's really discouraging, and that's when I that's when I start filing lawsuits, is when people start copying those ideas that I like, because and I don't really want to get too much into this, but especially with the Best Bar, that kid that copied it, like he copied the exact idea, exact flavors, and was selling the bar for double the price.
He does not have a copyright on this bar he's selling, so I don't know why he's so upset.
That I was. It goes to show how censored and shadow banned I am. So it's kind of disgusting and despicable, but it's whatever. What can I do? I mean, eventually I'm gonna be a lunatic. I'm gonna be literally running around New York City handing out flyers myself. But we'll see. FrankTufano.com. Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you guys soon.
Well, Frank's dumb, but we already knew that. Let's see, he has a few new shorts.
The primary method of liver detox is the release of toxins in the body.
Dude, he literally looks like he's just an unhinged fucking homeless whack job. Look at his fucking hair and his eyes. They're not even pointed straight.
Bile is released when you eat a meal, more so with a higher fat meal, and that bile will be full of the toxins your body was storing. It occurs at the start of digestion. Unfortunately, the body doesn't really have a better mechanism to detox. It's also important to have plenty of soluble fiber to help soak the toxins.
Like, his eyes don't even open evenly anymore. Like, this eye is more closed than this eye. That surgery was such a bad idea. Holy shit. And this eye is, like, pointed up. This eye is, like, pointed to the left.
But what helps tremendously in binding to the toxins is activated charcoal. And a lot of these toxins in the bile have a high affinity in bonding to the charcoal. So instead of those toxins from the bile being reabsorbed throughout the rest of your digestive system, a decent amount of them will bind to the charcoal and be excreted. You may notice a tremendous improvement in how you feel taking 1 or 2 capsules.
I don't know if charcoal absorbs bile acids. Fiber absorbs bile acid, though, so it's strange that he's selling a supplement that he's claiming absorbs bile, but fiber does that. If you just eat high fiber foods, you'd be excreting more bile salts. So the supplement is kind of pointless.
After a meal, also sleeping a lot better. Activated charcoal might be the most important supplement in feeling good while detoxing your liver. A decent analogy for having charcoal with every meal is like
the surgery he had on his eyes was just cosmetic.
Plowing snow in the winter. The truck is the food in your meal. The road is your digestive system, your stomach, your small intestine. And the snow is the bile that is being released by your liver. You can plow all of the snow away, remove all of the bile with a meal, but once the meal passes, the snow keeps falling. just like the liver still trickles out bile. But in the back of the truck is a salt dispenser, and the salt absorbs and melts the remaining snow and helps prevent new snow from sticking.
What the fuck is he talking about?
So that charcoal at the end of your meal, taking 1 or 2 capsules, is like the salt at the back of the truck. It will soak excess bile and help alleviate bile release until the next meal or the next snowplow.
That made absolutely no fucking sense. All right, that was stupid.
Thanks for tuning in to this special report from the Common Sense Skeptic, taking an unintended break in our regular production schedule to respond to a particular tweet from Elon Musk. Recently, Tesla bulls have been calling for a new compensation package from Musk at Tesla, and in response to those tweets earlier today, on January 15th, Musk wrote this tweet. I am uncomfortable growing Tesla to be a leader in AI and robotics without having around 25% voting control. Enough to be influential, but not so much that I can't be overturned. Unless that is the case, I would prefer to build products outside of Tesla. You don't seem to understand that Tesla is not one startup, but a dozen. Simply look at the delta between what Tesla does and GM. As for stock ownership itself being enough motivation, Fidelity and other own similar stakes to me. Why don't they show up for work? There is a lot of information to tear out of this 500-character tweet. First, it perfectly demonstrates what a raging power-hungry narcissist Musk is, always needing to have control, which he no longer has at Tesla. As of today, Musk holds just shy of 13% in the company. This is down from the 22% Musk used to flaunt in 2021, a year prior to his forced purchase of Twitter, and even then, Musk was already selling off a $15 billion stake in the company. Musk says he wants another 12% more voting control in the company without paying the $83.5 billion for those shares to make up the difference that would entitle him to that power. So he would be demanding power he is not entitled to from a board of a publicly traded company, or else he says he'll take the robotics and AI development out of Tesla and start up another company in competition with what Tesla has long claimed to be. The sheer hubris suffered by this delusional idiot to suggest such a thing in a tweet, likely written from the toilet, is beyond belief. Over the years, we have all seen how Musk, for whatever reason, has downplayed the automotive component of Tesla, despite cars obviously being the core business of the company, insisting that it is instead a technology company, then more specifically, a robotics and AI company. He is on record as saying that without a successful deployment of FSD, requiring what he calls real-world AI, Tesla would pretty much be worthless. As the CEO of Tesla, his only job should be to promote and support that company.
Kid Boo donated $2. Let me see. Joy Reid announces she has scalped a Karen and stolen her hair. To wear as a trophy. That is very strange. All right, well, thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
In all of its current endeavors. For years now, Musk has used and abused the resources of that publicly traded company, Tesla, to develop those robotic and AI technologies to their current state, whatever they might be. He has allocated company staff, resources, and finances to those goals, but Musk now seems to think he can extract that technology for himself into yet another venture at his whim, again despite not having controlling interest in the company. This tweet should absolutely be grounds for dismissal for the self-appointed techno-king of Tesla. He's threatening a company to which he has...
Like, why the fuck would he announce this in a tweet, by the way? It makes no fucking sense. So he wants 25% voting control without actually, he needs 83 billion extra dollars in shares to actually have that voting power. But like I don't even understand why he'd fucking share this in a tweet. It's so strange.
He's threatening a company to which he has a fiduciary duty to protect with blackmail. You'll give me what I want, or I'm taking all the toys shareholders paid for to start up another company that I can control. He's obviously not looking out for the best interest of his only publicly traded company, nor his own shareholders. And why would Musk be after 25% control anyway? Because votes at Tesla historically require supermajority approval to pass. And when Musk held 22% of the company, that enabled him to override any shareholder vote on the ballot. That included several attempts to remove him and or his feckless brother from the board, owing to Kimball's inability to perform any significant function, as was proven quite well in the Solar City case transcripts. The younger Musk has been kept around to support the elder, who now, because of his Twitter purchase, no longer has that lockdown ability on votes. As an aside, because Musk included this, look at the third sentence of the second paragraph comparing Tesla to GM. Apparently, Musk is unaware that General Motors also has a robotics division, and an agreement in place with NASA to develop their Robonaut 2 for use in space on the ISS, signed in September of last year.
And I bet it works,
His
too.
third paragraph shows that Musk really does not understand the relationship between the company and shareholders or his role as chief executive officer, or whatever he's calling himself these days. Shareholders don't need to show up for work at the company that they bought shares in, especially when they hold less than 1% share in the company, as the aforementioned Fidelity does. In fact, Fidelity doesn't crack the top 5 institutional holders, so they do not, as Musk falsely stated here, have similar holdings to him. Musk is wondering why these companies don't show up for work like he does. Well, Musk, they don't have to. They paid for their shares. Whereas after you bought the chair at Tesla with your initial Series A investment, without knowing what a board chair actually does, then drummed out the legitimate founders and CEO because you're a jealous bastard, not knowing what a CEO does. You grew your stake in the company at the expense of the company, through tranches of options that were opened up when the company reached certain unanchored market capitalization milestones. Of particular note would be the false Hertz story, released just before Tesla stock hit its all-time high and market cap shot over $1 trillion for a very short period of time in November of 2021. Right around the same time, every insider at Tesla dumped their shares off, including Kimball Musk, who now holds a pittance worth of Tesla shares. Not surprisingly, in the past 12 months, absolutely nobody considered to be a Tesla insider has bought any shares back at half the value they sold at. Over the course of Musk's prior self-authored compensation plan, Elon Musk removed $56 billion from Tesla.
Yeah, everybody knows this is as good as it's going to get.
Issuance of his options, which he bought at around $23 a piece, before the 2 recent stock splits at 5-1 and 3-1. So compared to share price today, prior to August 31st of 2020, Musk paid about $1.53 per Tesla share in respect to the total current 15-1 dilution. The compensation plan was so outrageous that Musk has been sued for it in 2022, and apparently that decision still has to be rendered. Now, in comparison, Tesla in the 5 most recent reported periods made less than $17 billion, having scraped their first profit together in 2020, and it's unlikely the 2023 numbers will match 2022, considering they had a huge miss in Q3 2023, and they've had to cut prices even further in Q4 2023. So Musk took more than 3 times the amount of profit Tesla made out of the company for his own pocket between 2018 and 2022. And now, he says, he'd like another compensation package? When broken down, this tweet is absolutely insane, and if the Securities and Exchange Commission doesn't rip Musk with a warning or a huge fine for this, considering their enforcement against Musk's tweet affecting Tesla shares is not only still intact, it has been reaffirmed after appeal, then they are definitely asleep at the wheel here. Regardless, stockholders need to be made aware that Musk is obviously not looking out for the company. Musk is looking out for himself, because he's a raging power-hungry narcissist, as he has always been. And a compensation package like this would be declaring war on the Tesla shareholder. Paraphrasing this tweet, your shares should have no voting rights because you don't provide any service to the company. Only he, as the self-appointed techno-king, should have any say. And to that we say, it is time to depose the king. We're going to sign off by saying this. Musk has not actually made this proposal to the board, so far as we know. However, this tweet gives a lot of insight into how Musk is thinking about and likely acting towards, the company that is responsible for the vast majority of his paper wealth. This tweet in response was voluntary and unsolicited, so obviously this is where his brain is at, where Tesla is concerned. And that needs to be concerning to everyone involved. On that note, we are going to get back to production on a series we are hoping to release this weekend. Have a great week, and watch out for when the Common Sense Skeptic returns.
Musk is genuinely fucking deranged. It'll be so great when Tesla finally goes fucking completely bankrupt.
It's time to end it. You know what I mean? I feel it within my body that I'm not sustaining my energy throughout the day like I should be. Now it's time to see what my advisor has concocted for me. Content creators, entrepreneurs, you want to monetize your brand? If so, go to KaliMuscle. Work shows up. Like I said, I've been about 2 months not on any testosterone, TRT. I'm going to go in here and...
Oh, okay, so he was taking steroids. Yeah. That's why he lost so much muscle recently. So yeah, he was lying. Dude, KaliMuscle is so fucking stupid. So he was taking steroids for this whole time, even after the heart attack. And now he's admitting to it, and he's now saying for the last 2 months he's been off.
You know, see what, you know, this apple, just eating apples, what my blood work show up as. Feeling great, but it's time to end it. You know what I mean? I feel it within my body that I'm not sustaining my energy throughout the day like I should be. We're going to get back to eating, you know, some lentils and spinach, things of that nature, mushrooms. You know, overall, I feel better than any other mono eat or fast I've done. But yeah, it just, you know, when you know it's time, it's time. I'm not in competition, or I'm doing for myself rejuvenation. You know what I mean? I am preparing mentally to get stem cell. That's the road I'm on. You know what I mean? I'm not telling anybody to do what I'm doing or none of that, because I know I'm 0.1% of the most disciplined on the planet. If I didn't have to do it, I wouldn't. But being that I'm type A blood type and other health factors, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Hell yeah.
Get the blood man to
my favorite veins.
Way to start the day. I should be hydrated. We gonna see what those apples do. You know, I'm on these apples, so I'm curious to see how my blood flow is. And
Are you done with it, or are you still doing it?
No, I'm still doing it, but today might be the last day, because I'm going to my store probably later. You always do it on the right?
I do, but let me check the left.
Oh, okay.
The right gives us a little trouble, so let's see the left. Have you dropped any weight?
Oh, yeah. I'm down to like 176, maybe 175 today.
Your heaviest was 270, huh?
Yeah. Damn. But I was that for about not even 10 days. I got up to that like, oh, hell nah.
270, 100 pounds. From where's that?
Crazy.
That's ridiculous.
And I love this look way more. I was more insecure about that.
Why?
Weight. Just stomach issues and you know what I mean?
Can't bend down, tie your shoes.
Oh, yeah. How you know? That was the first time in my life.
I've been up at 210, and that happened to me at
First time in my life I couldn't tie my shoe at 270.
Wait, how tall are you?
5'7".
Okay. And I was like, no.
Damn, at 210?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. You were noticing it then?
I was noticing it then. And I'm like, I gotta do a quick prep.
I think the biggest I ever got was like 208 or 210, and I felt fat as
It's a weird feeling, man. It's a weird feeling. You're like, it's almost like your body's telling you you're not supposed to be that way.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's like rejecting it. You just feel thick.
Yeah.
Going to the right?
I'm going to the right, man.
Yep. Yeah, I never really mess with that left. So I look back at videos, I trimmed down to 220, and that's what the weight I was when I had the heart attack.
At 220?
And I was huge still.
Right.
Yeah.
At 220.
You were big.
Well,
all that J Shop stuff.
Well,
your face looked inflamed. Yeah, you were big. You were really fluctuating, I think, between 220 and 240.
Oh yeah.
Remember you were like doing that bulking
235.
session?
Yeah.
You were like trying to get up to 250.
Oh yeah.
You were on a 250 mission.
250 mission.
He was. He was eating. I remember we had some videos where he was eating Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
We ordered Pizza Hut. It was for like a mukbang or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I hate getting blood drawn.
Best flow I've seen so far.
Apples, baby.
But they're high in sugar, aren't they, Kelly?
Nah. That's a myth.
I'm just catching this for footage, but your ankle, look at it, it's super lean, bro.
Yeah. So this was the puffy one.
Oh, this was the
This
puffy
one
one?
used to be puffy.
Let me
This
see.
shit's so bony. Oh, you can see the bone.
Oh, you didn't got to take it off. I can
Well,
see.
Bony as shit. My shit ain't been like that since I was about 10 years old.
What's the next one you doing?
We thinking about mangoes.
Mangoes, huh?
Well,
Yeah, they got it coming
Can you
around.
stomach it, though?
I don't know.
I
Oh,
know.
I don't even think my blood type. I ain't supposed to even eat mangoes. Now I think about it.
Is
now
it
you say
negative?
that. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, so I don't know. I'm just gonna go back to eating, veggies and
tomatoes are fruit too. So
yeah.
Mm.
I don't think I'm supposed to eat tomatoes.
okay.
But I'm gonna go back to eating veggies and spinach, lentils,
Whole foods.
mushrooms.
Meat.
No meat.
No
I
meat?
haven't ate meat in 2 years.
Come on.
Well, I haven't ate fish in about 8-9 months. Well,
Where are you getting your protein?
I love this
aminos,
question.
just amino.
Oh boy, I love that when people say, "Oh yeah, I haven't eaten meat, but I do eat fish because fish is a vegetable, right?"
Acids from the fruits and veggies
Okay.
and the mushrooms and,
And the
lentils.
lentil. The
Yeah.
lentil has a lot of protein.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't apples have 1 gram of protein?
Yeah.
I think so.
Drinking about 64 ounces of apple juice.
Okay.
And I'm eating about 5 apples a day, but large apples.
Okay.
Yeah.
Organic?
Yeah, oh yeah, because I just did a thing where I was scraping it and all that
I saw
white.
the video, yeah.
Yeah, that annoying, bro. People putting that in their body.
Oh, yeah.
What day you gonna come out?
Yeah, is that next weekend?
No, this
weekend
this
coming
Saturday,
up, right?
Sunday.
Yeah. My daughter has a volleyball tournament, so I just gotta
Yes.
see what area that's in,
Uh-huh.
and we doing that, and I'm definitely trying to pull up. And then you got all your shirts already bagged and tagged.
Oh,
in
you
here.
already got them bagged. Damn, that's
Yeah,
dope. 'Cause
everything
I
already
bought
bagged
some
with it. Nah, bagged and tagged. You know how they
Dope.
come.
That's sick. Cause I was planning on bagging them. I had bought some.
We
Oh,
already
that's
got
sick.
the sizes, everything
Yes,
done.
sir. That's awesome.
Small, mediums, and
You just saved me some work.
yes, sir. And then we got your retractable banner here.
Yo, $8. The guy has to be putting simp or paid by the Kremlin, Putin simp or paid by the Kremlin. It just makes sense. Also, did you hear Iran just started war with Pakistan? I did not hear about that. The mask is slipping for Jackson Hinkle following my condemnation of his support for Assad, support for Putin, support for Iran, support for China, exploitation of Palestinian suffering. Clearly got under his skin. He almost never responds to a critic in this manner, but little old me evidently got under his skin because rather than address any of my points, he's gone for a good old character assassination. This is the litmus test for a Muslim. Who will you side with? A kafir who supports the killers of our Syrian brothers and brings up the pre-Islamic sins of a Muslim convert, or a Muslim as flawed and wretched as I may be. Let's see if the concept of al-Wala wal-Bara is known amongst the Muslims. This is the man currently attacking me and claiming he speaks for Muslims. No wonder he hates Iran. They have strict laws in place for men like him. The fuck? Okay.
I am worried about your larger dogs attacking Finn. Please consider buying this protective vest for him.
It's man versus coyote. And this guy isn't about to lose his tussle with the wild animal. Timothy Snipe was out in his yard in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, with his pint-sized chihuahua named Roxy.
Well, I've seen those coyote protectors before.
Skate.
We never go out at night with Finn anyway, and when we do, like, we're always careful with coyotes and stuff. And our larger dogs don't attack Finn. Shia Muslim country attacked a Sunni Muslim country, Pakistan. Really? Last Muslim on earth. That's pretty funny. Alright, well, I guess we'll see how that plays out. Dodo donated Iran launched missiles into Pakistan. So why are they attacking Pakistan? Pakistan retaliates by launching a press release. Oh, Jesus. Pakistan's strong condemnation of the unprovoked violation of its airspace. Well, I think that's a sign that they're not really able to do much about it. Pakistan condemns deadly Iranian missile strike on its territory as an unprovoked violation. This is the place where Iran attacked in Pakistan. Iran is a Shia Muslim country, and they said Allahu Akbar before attacking Pakistan. Pakistan is a Sunni Muslim country, and they said Allahu Akbar after getting bombed by Iran. Whom will Allah choose to protect? Yeah, where's your God now? I didn't know Iran and Pakistan were so hostile towards one another. Alright, well, thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Alright, that's a new style.
You just go ahead and pop that out, pull the legs out, stand that up. You got the little stick in the back right here, you just stick in here, connect there, stand up.
Yeah, because I got a couple of them. I got a couple of that style. This is a newer style, though.
Yeah, I got
I had was old.
So if you need it before.
Oh, yeah, I should be good. I got one other one. What's that? How you get
Ted donated, can you do your classic bicep flex and say, as always, keep making those Jane pacifist gains? No, I will never do that. Thanks for that donation, though, Ted.
Oh, yeah, those sweatpants there, I guess they didn't go with that last bag, so you ended.
Yeah, I gotta go set up Friday, so I'm gonna go set all this up Friday. Yeah. Hell yeah. Then I could take this anywhere. I'm about to start doing a lot of public.
Dodo donated want nothing more than a debate between you and Vegan Definition or any other unhinged pro-Hamas clown. Someone need to send him the video of you saying Israel should target more civilians. Also, did you know Avi has Israeli citizenship? Don't all Jews technically have Israeli citizenship? I don't know. I don't think he'd even debate me, but I have no interest in debating that fucking idiot. I've debated him before, and he's just a fucking toxic asshole. And, I mean, what's the point in debating somebody who flat out denies the October 7th attack? Like, I might as well debate, like, a flat earther or something. It's just a waste of fucking time. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Motivational speech.
I'm sorry, honey. No, let me see it.
Might mess with some pineapples too. 16 days of apples.
I know, I checked Instagram.
Oh yeah. So you know, those red globes been calling me the great. Guess I get some of these honey crisps.
Need to do these dry apples.
Yeah, I thought the other day I came, y'all was doing some.
I don't know, but this is bomb.
These little ones?
These little ones,
Oh yeah.
they're a bomb.
Oh.
I just got this one. Just try it.
I do want to try it, you know.
Try it. Go ahead. That's the tree ripe one.
Tree of life?
Can you just eat it?
Oh,
like
tree
that?
ripe.
They're ripe on the tree, and then they pick it up.
Oh. Wow. Look at this.
You got a pen and a pad. I want you to write down my favorite juice.
Tool donated $3.
I swear y'all always got something to be mad at. I see no good reason why an actor of any race can't play any historical figure. It's acting. Queen Charlotte, you know you got Queen Charlotte coming out from Shonda. Then the internet be internet. Muhammad Ali. Snow White. Queen Elizabeth II. Y'all are so immature. Polar bear. Leave the animals out of this, please.
Dude,
Martin
that's
Luther King.
fucking hilarious.
The man who stood against the naked. Get out of here. Obama. He be Snoop. Please, Rosa Parks.
These are so great.
Under the sea.
Those are funny. Thanks for the donation, Tool. That's all that you are, donated $2, Bipolar Cat. Let me see.
Oh no, Joe. Mama.
Oh my god, that cat might be bipolar. It's a nice kitty, though. Why is that cat so angry? It looks like a nice kitty. Why so angry?
Oh. Hello.
Wow, that's a handsome kitty. Looks like a nice cat. My goodness. Well, thanks for the donation. That's all that you are.
The juice that healed me, I created it myself. The concoction of it, and I healed myself of all the diseases I.
Hello VG, what's up bro? Take this donation my friend. Can you make some prayers to your vegan god of gains, for my progress in the gym and for my work in the kitchen? Thank you, have a noche day.
O God of gains, please bless Gosvin with the gains to crush his enemies so that he may make more muscle in the gym and to also create great work in the kitchen. Amen. Thanks for the donation, Bosman. Appreciate it.
So I need 7 green apples. 6, 7. Okay. Let's see what else my advisor says. Oh, 1 stalk of celery. So that's 1 stalk, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So I need cilantro.
We have it like every night.
That other one parsley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Filtrate out, so you can filtrate out properly. Alright, we're gonna use only a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper.
Half cayenne.
So make sure it opens and dilates.
Cucumbers, 2 cucumbers.
And then a whole lemon with the seed.
I got
if you do this every day, you should produce.
And bitters and soursop root, fresh ginger, black seed. That's a big thing right now. Black seed, garlic, lemon root, aloe vera, honey. Yeah, this is something I could do. I don't like doing that. Oh, they got super sea moss like that too?
And if you got a pen and a pad, I want you to write down my favorite juice. This is the juice that healed me. I created it myself, the concoction of it, and I healed myself of all the diseases I was suffering from. So I want you to do 7 green apples. And you're going to do this daily. The apples is going to stretch the cells and get all the toxins out of the cells. You're going to do 1 stalk of.
Dude, why is he listening to like the most insane fucking quacks he sees online and not a fucking doctor?
Celery. It should have at least 6 to 7 limbs on it with the leaves. The celery sticks is going to give you all of the bile salts that you need. It's full of natural sodium. Hint of cilantro. What cilantro is going to do is
That's not how bile salts are made.
remove all of those different metals from the cell. You're going to use a handful of parsley. The parsley leaf is going to open up the actual tubules, and it's going to open up the nephrons of the kidneys where you can filtrate out. All right, you're going to use only a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Opens and dilates the artery walls to help blood flow. You're going to use a thumb of ginger. Skin the actual ginger and put the ginger in the juicer as well. 2 cucumbers without the skin. That's going to help you hydrate more. Cucumbers are one of your most hydrative fruits on the planet. And then a whole lemon with the skin. If you do this every day, you should produce at least 45 ounces of juice. If not, just add mineral water. You're going to drink that every single day. Do that with the essential glandular kit, and I promise you that'll go away.
That looks like it would not taste good.
That Yaki Awaken juice.
Dodo donated $2. Let me see.
As the Russian army assaults Avdiivka in eastern Ukraine, U.S.-provided Bradley infantry fighting vehicles are key to keeping the Ukrainians in the fight. We're ready, the crew say, and then unleash their powerful 25mm gun on Russian troops in nearby tree lines, helping Ukrainian infantry blunt an assault. The vehicle's commander's call sign is Barbie. He tells me the Bradleys are making all the difference. I doubt that we'd be talking with you doing this interview if we didn't have the Bradleys, he says. Most likely, the northern flank would have been already lost without the Bradleys. They have no time to lose, the next task waiting as the Russians try to...
I wonder what it's like maintaining and servicing those vehicles. Like, the maintenance intervals must be crazy.
Press forward. The Ukrainians say the Bradley is now one of their most effective tools in the defense of Avdiivka. Because of its armor and its strong cannon, it can easily defeat Russian armored vehicles. The Bradleys also own the dark, the crew says, able to find and target Russian troops with their thermal scopes. You can see the round's impact after they fire a salvo at Russian forces.
Wow.
I asked Barbie if the Russians fear the Bradley. The Russians are very afraid of the Bradley, he says. We were getting radio intercepts where we could hear their infantry shouting that the Bradley was coming and they couldn't do anything against it. They've come a long way since Ukraine's failed counter-offensive this past summer, when Bradleys and other Western vehicles were often bogged down by minefields and Russian artillery barrages, unable to unleash their firepower. Now, it often looks like this. Ukraine's 47th Mechanized Brigade provided us with these videos of what they say is Bradleys firing at Russian infantry positions. They also provided several videos purporting to show a Bradley beating Russia's most capable main battle tank, the T-90, in a duel. The Bradley fires salvos at the Russian tank. After taking many hits, the T-90 seems to be out of control, its turret spinning.
Wow.
The vehicle then hits a tree before the Ukrainians send a drone to finish it off. The Russian crew manages to bail. But the Ukrainians fear this could end soon if U.S. Congress doesn't okay additional funding for military aid, and both U.S. and Ukrainian officials have said that Ukraine is already forced to ration some ammunition.
The assistance that we provided has now ground to a
Yeah, dude, the Republican speaker is a fucking piece of shit. I hope that guy gets a stroke.
halt. The attacks that the Russians are conducting are only increasing.
Barbie and his crew say so far they have no shortages of ammo or spare parts for the Bradleys, a key weapon as they try to hold the line against a massive Russian invasion force. And you know, Aaron, another reason why the Ukrainians say the Bradleys...
What would you do, Donate Tillers, if you had a crazy boss at work who lost his temper for a dumb reason, screamed in your face as loud as he could, inches away from your face? Would you punch him, get away, take out your phone, record him, or do nothing? There are cameras everywhere. I just shove him out of my fucking way. I'm not going to get screamed at from like 2 inches from my face. But yeah, just shove him out of my fucking way and leave. Thanks for the donation. What would you do?
Bradley is so important for them is that it also lifts the morale of frontline troops when they're fighting in the infantry. They're saying that in many cases, when troops are under a lot of pressure or under fire from the Russians, when the Bradley shows up, they understand that with its armor, it's going to be able to protect them and get them out if they need that. Of course, one of the things that Vladimir Putin has said today is that he's going to keep pressing his offensive against the Ukrainians, even calling Ukraine's statehood into question. Aaron?
All right, Fred, thank you very much. From Dnipro tonight in eastern Ukraine, and out front now, Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington, the top Democrat on the Armed Services Committee. So, Congressman, this issue of statehood, Putin predicting that Ukraine's statehood will soon be in question as he is mocking the counteroffensive that they have put on. Do you have any doubt as to what he's saying when he says that their statehood is at risk?
No, not at all. And thank you. You summed it up perfectly at the top of this segment. That's exactly what Putin has been after from the beginning. And so many people have sort of helped him do that by claiming that, oh, Putin would have made peace if we had just said, you know, Ukraine won't join NATO or any number of other things that simply aren't true. You perfectly summed up what Putin's objective is. And right now, the group that's helping Putin in that objective more than any is the Republican Party in the House and the Senate, by refusing to pass the supplemental aid package that the president has proposed that would help Ukraine in this fight.
Do you have any sense that there's any possibility of a breakthrough on that?
Well, you know, the president's called a meeting at the White House yesterday with some leaders. The pressure is growing. And look, the frustration here is I know that there are Republicans who don't...
They only have a tiny fucking majority, too. It's only, what, 3 seats?
...support Ukraine. J.D. Vance, Matt Gaetz, they've made their arguments. I totally disagree with those arguments. I think they're disingenuous, but that's what they believe. The real problem now is all of the Republicans here who claim to support Ukraine, who claim that they don't want to support Putin. They don't want to see Putin succeed. They support Ukraine. They're going to support an aid package. And they just don't do it. And now they've tied it to a very complicated fight over the border. I would ask that the Republicans do what Mike Johnson, the speaker, said they would do, which is not abandon Ukraine. Speaker Johnson made that clear when he got the job. I hope he lives up to that commitment.
Yeah, Mike Johnson's a fucking crazy whack job piece of shit.
Tastes like I'm already healed. Now it's time to see what my advisor has concocted for me. Toast to Yaki Awakened. Thank you for coming up with this concoction to help heal my body.
Well, any day now.
Hello.
He is not going to be alive anymore. Let's see.
Questions pro-Palestinians can't answer. Why do you care? So my first question is one that I've asked in the past but still never got an answer to. Why do you care so much about the Palestinians? There are so many demonstrations in support of Gaza. Hundreds of thousands of pro-Palestinians are marching through the streets of major cities. Yet nobody is marching for the people of Yemen and Syria. Not the Arabs and not the students in Western universities. And I'm asking you why. There are 800,000 dead in Syria and Yemen, and you are silent. And there are 20,000 dead in Gaza, half of them terrorists, and you are outraged. Now, you have 2 possible answers to this question. Neither is great, but as I see it, you don't have any other good options. The first answer is that you expect more from Israel than you expect from the Arabs. Now, if you expect more from Israel, that means you expect less from the Arabs, and that makes you a racist. I'm not sure you want to be put in that box. Another option is that you are a hypocrite. It is cool to be pro-Palestinian, so although you know that far greater atrocities are happening not far from here, you choose to ignore them. By the way, you don't have to limit yourself. You can be both a hypocrite and a racist. If you have a better answer, please share it with me. I want to understand why you are outraged when talking about Israel, but Syria and Yemen and Sudan, oh, it's a humanitarian crisis. What can we do? Let's move on to the next question. The oppressed people of the Middle East. Let's say you woke up this morning in Berlin, Madrid, or Wisconsin, and you thought to yourself, I want to support oppressed people in the Middle East. Well, I'm with you. I think it is noble that people genuinely want to help people they don't know on the other side of the world. And there are so many minorities that are suffering oppression in Muslim countries. There are the Coptics in Egypt, and there are Christians in Lebanon and Iraq, whose numbers are decreasing at a genocidal rate. There are the Balak people and the Zaratustras in Iran, who no one cares about. But the first group that should spring to mind when talking about oppressed Muslims in the Middle East is, of course, the Kurds. Unlike the Palestinians, the Kurds have a very long history as a nation. Unlike the Palestinians, who have never missed.
What's also funny is all these same lefties who claim to care so much about Palestinians and like Muslim people, they deny the Uyghur genocide. Like it makes no fucking sense. It's so stupid. They clearly just hate Israel.
Miss an opportunity to establish peace and an independent state. The Kurds did all they could to establish their own state, but were ultimately betrayed by the colonial powers. The Kurds have suffered immensely in Muslim countries like Iran, Iraq, and Turkey, and no one cares about them. Where are all the freedom fighters when it comes to the Kurds? Let me give you a crazy example of just how little the world cares about them. Have you heard about the Halabja massacre? The Iraqis attacked Halabja with chemical weapons. It was the worst chemical weapon attack on civilians ever. 5,000 Kurds died. Many are still suffering from the consequences of the attack, which took place in 1988. I guess that most of you have never heard about it, seeing as nobody ever bothers to mention it. Let's have a look at Google. There are about 50,000 results for the Halabja chemical attack. How many results do you think that the Battle of Deir Yassin will have? This was a tiny battle that took place 75 years ago in 1948 when Israel conquered the village of Deir Yassin and around 50 to 100 Arabs died. Deir Yassin has more than 400,000 results. How can you make sense of the fact that a tiny 75-year-old battle gets about 10 times more information published about it than the worst chemical attack on civilians ever? My answer is that if Muslims die and you can't blame Israel, then it just isn't that interesting. Nobody cares, not even the Muslims. Do you have a better answer? Stolen land?
Yep.
Now that we have established that, in my opinion...
Yeah, this has nothing to do with protecting Muslims or Arabs. This is all about just hating Israel.
Pro-Palestinians don't really care about the real atrocities in the Middle East or about the oppressed people who are fighting for freedom. Let's dive right into and talk about the Palestinians specifically. I often get comments about the Jews stealing land from the Palestinians. If it is true that the Jews stole land, then give me the name of one Jewish settlement that was built on Arab land before November 1947, when the Arabs rejected the partition plan, rejected peace and the establishment of an independent state, and started a war to wipe out the Jews. Give me some names. You will not find a single case of Jews stealing.
Career choice advice to tellers for anyone wanting to go to trade school, especially for plumbing. Never do it. A lot are criminals and degenerates. At least 50% will have a hearing disability due to loud noise and work. Go to college or do something else. No one will respect you, trust me. Trade jobs are a great career choice. If you are working with loud machinery, just use hearing protection. Just because you've had a bad experience doesn't mean they're bad jobs. Thanks for the donation.
Land from Arabs. When the Arabs started a war, yes, they lost some land. That's what happens when you start a war. By the way, I can give you the names of many places that Arabs stole from the Jews before war broke out in 1948. There was a Jewish community living in Gaza until 1929, when the local Arabs, back then they didn't call themselves Palestinians, stole their property. So if you claim to be pro-Palestinian and know the history of the conflict, just give me one name of a Jewish settlement that was established on stolen Arab land before they started a war.
Well, the answer will obviously be all of it.
Why wasn't an independent Palestinian state established between 1948 and 1967? So the Arabs started a war and lost. After the war, the Gaza area was held by the Egyptians, and Judea and Samaria, which came to be known as the West Bank, were held by the Jordanians. Why didn't the Arabs, who at this point have started to call themselves Palestinians, establish a state back then? They had a whole 19 years to do just that. In 1967, the Arabs once again threatened to eliminate Israel, and again they lost. This time they lost the Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Only then did the world start to get interested in the Palestinians and their independence. This I find interesting. When the Palestinians were under Arab rule, nobody talked about a Palestinian state in Gaza and the West Bank. And suddenly, after Israel won the war in 1967, the Palestinians became one of the most interesting people on planet Earth. So my question is, why didn't anybody talk about the independence of the Palestinians until 1967? And let me remind you that the 1950s saw the independence of Morocco, Algeria, and Libya. So the idea of Arabs establishing independent state was not a new thing. My answer to this question is simple. The Palestinians are not interested in having a state in Gaza and the West Bank alongside Israel. They are interested in wiping out Israel, and I have undeniable proof. The PLO, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, was established in 1964 with the self-declared objective of eliminating Israel. So in 1964, which was 3 years before the occupation began, before there was one settlement, they clearly state their desire to eliminate Israel. Not to be freed from Egypt and Jordan rule, but to eliminate Israel. Do you think I'm wrong? Please illuminate me on this one. Egypt. Staying with Egypt, let's say that everything I said is wrong. Israel is terrible. The Palestinians are mostly poor civilians who are suffering under the cruel Israelis, and many well-meaning people in the West and in the Muslim world want to do all they can to help the poor souls in Gaza. My question is, why is no one mentioning Egypt? Egypt has a border with Gaza Strip. Egypt can simply open the gate and allow Palestinian refugees in. How many people from Gaza did Egypt allow in? 0. That's strange. Look at the Europeans. Poland, Germany, and many other countries opened their doors and their hearts to people from Ukraine. It was a really noble response. What about the Egyptians and the Arab world? Where are they? Egypt is 5 times bigger.
Yeah, nobody wants to deal with Palestinians because they're fucking terrible people to deal with. They try to cause uprisings, that they commit terrorism, so none of these Arab states will take in any Palestinian refugees.
Than Israel, and it has plenty of room to spare. Oh, so did I say 5 times bigger? I meant to say Egypt is 50 times bigger than Israel. Egypt could open its border and all the rich Arab countries.
Grey Knight donated $2. Speaking of Egypt's border. Oh, yeah. Egypt has strengthened the fence since the beginning of the war. Yeah, I bet. Well, they just know that Hamas is going to try to break into Egypt. So, yeah. Well, you're not getting over that fence. Thanks for the donation, Grey Knight.
This could help them, but no one mentions this option. Arabs helping other Arabs? No, that's a crazy idea. Pro-Palestinians are doing the anti-Israel part really well, but why not actually helping the Palestinians by focusing on Egypt?
Yeah,
genocide.
it's so bullshit. All of these Arab nations are like, oh, Israel's committing a genocide. They're so horrible to Palestinians. Why don't you let in any refugees? Oh, yeah, it's because you don't care about fucking Palestinians.
Now, this is an easy one. Israel is often accused of committing genocide. If Israel is committing genocide, how come there are more Palestinians every year? From 1948 to 2023, there have been more Palestinians every year. How do you reconcile that with the word genocide? I'm dying to hear how you can justify the word genocide when talking about the Palestinians. Blacks and Palestinians. The Palestinians like to present themselves as the indigenous dark-skinned people of the land, and we, the Jews, as the white European colonizing power. First of all, I find it funny and pretty pathetic that the Palestinians want and actually get the sympathy of black people in South Africa and black people in the US.
When they're insanely
Do you know
racist.
what the Arabs call people with black skin? Abd, which means slaves. It was the European colonial powers who pressured Muslim countries to abolish slavery, and that only happened in the 20th century. If you have never heard about all this, it is not your fault. Those who like talking about colonialism don't like to talk about the way in which Arabs historically treated black people as slaves, and they definitely don't like to mention the fact that the main force putting an end to slavery in Arab countries was the European colonial powers. It doesn't fit the narrative, and those who talk about colonialism prefer narratives to the simple truth. As a tour guide, I can tell you that one of the poorest settlements in Israel is called Jisr al-Zalqa. It is an Arab village or town, and a lot of the Arabs who live there are black people who originally came from Sudan and who
Yeah, and they're all treated like shit.
experience racism on account of their skin color. And there are many stories like that. Arab society is extremely racist towards black people. In some Arab countries, slavery was still legal 60 years ago. Black Palestinian solidarity is about as smart as Queers for Palestine. By the
Yeah.
way, Jews in the US were the biggest supporters of the civil rights movements in the 1960s. Somehow, the BLM movement and the student movements in the US tend to forget that fact, as well as the fact that the Arabs were all in with selling, buying, and using slaves. But let's go back to the Palestinians and their claims. First of all, most of the Jews in Israel today, 50 years ago and 150 years ago, were from Arab countries. In the long history of the Jews in the land of Israel, a 3,000-year-old history, there were only about 30 years during which Jews from Europe numbered more highly than Jews from Arab countries. And in any case, Jerusalem and the land of Israel was already the homeland of all Jews some 1,500 years prior to Islam even being established in the 7th century. And my question here to all the pro-Palestinians is, if the Palestinians are the indigenous people, how is it that when you go to archaeological sites, you never find Palestinian artifacts, but Jewish artifacts? 2,000-year-old Hebrew.
Dodo donated $2.
How have you changed since then to become a better candidate for president than Trump and the others?
Well, Caleb, thanks for that. It's interesting. Look, I'm a Republican. I know 2016 Trump was controversial, but I looked at it, I was like, with Hillary, we're not going to get anything I believe in. With Trump, even though he had a liberal past, I was like, maybe we can get some good stuff. And to his credit, he did have some good policies. And I support him, of course, for re-election in 2020, even though we had disagreements. For example, I disagreed with him turning over the government to Dr. Anthony Fauci during COVID. That created huge problems for this country. And Donald Trump and Dr. Fauci plunged our nation into a lockdown. We in Florida dragged this country out of lockdown. We made sure schools were open. We made sure businesses were open. We opposed any type of forced COVID vaxes. And so those are just big time differences. Donald Trump did not fire Dr. Fauci, of course. I know most.
What's hilarious is Republicans are responsible for killing off a large portion of their voting base because of that shit.
Republicans think that should have happened. And his explanation was that, well, the media and the left would have gotten upset at him, which is absolutely true. But you know what? As a leader, You got to be willing to stand in there, do what's right, and take the heat. I can tell you, when we were fighting in Florida in those early days to have schools open, have businesses open, all that, I was getting an immense amount of pressure from the media, attacked by the left, even by people in my own party. I had a lot of supporters of mine that said, you need to reverse course because they are filleting you, and your political career isn't going to be long for this world. But you know what? A leader is going to put the interests of the people, their jobs and their freedoms ahead of protecting his own political hide. So I was willing to let the chips fall where they may to do the right thing.
Governor, let me follow up. Earlier today, Governor Haley spoke to our Dana Bash here on CNN in New Hampshire today and said this about you. This is what Governor Haley said. He is not my concern. I'm going after Trump. What do you say to her?
So she said, and her campaign said, that there's only 2 tickets out of Iowa, that the top 2 out of Iowa would be viable, and that she would finish at least second, and then that would be the race. Well, guess what happened? Even though she spent 100% of her money attacking me and not 1 red cent attacking Donald Trump, and I faced almost 50 million in total, I got in second, and she did not. And that's just the reality. And here's the thing. In Iowa, you can actually show up as a Democrat on the day of the caucus, change your registration, and then participate in the Republican caucus. In New Hampshire, you can't do that. If you're a declared Democrat, then you can't vote in the primary. So she was relying on her support.
Watch the first minute. I am a struggling vegan and watched this video of a former vegan who has serious health issues from being a vegan. I am trying my best to stay vegan, but my health is declining.
Sure.
Experiment with yourself. If you're vegan, please realize that it will catch up with you. And for God's sakes, please don't do that to your children. Don't do that to your kids. It's not fair on them, and your animals. I unfortunately.
Let's see, I've been vegan for 13 years now. Aside from mental health problems that started in childhood, guess what? Perfectly healthy.
I lost both of my beautiful golden retrievers, and being the fool I was, had fed them a lot of plant-based stuff, and they both developed cancer and passed away. And
there's no evidence that plant-based diets for dogs result in higher cancer rates.
I feel like a bit like, I don't know if folks in here are old enough to remember Yul Brynner, who died of cancer, and he came on TV and said, whatever you do, don't smoke. Please don't smoke. I feel like I need to tell folks, whatever you do, don't go vegan. Please don't go vegan.
Yeah, even though vegans live longer and have lower risk of chronic disease.
Really appreciate you having me on.
Okay, well, that was stupid. Ahmed donated $2. I'm an ex-Muslim who recently became atheist after watching Apostate Prophet. Best decision. Arabs are suppressed because of their religion and low IQ. Why world hates us. Religious ones are extremely close-minded and can't think outside the box. Am I right? Thoughts? Right about what? Like, yeah, religion is stupid, but thanks for the donation, Ahmed.
For a lot of these Democrats changing their registration on the day of the caucus. And here's the thing. In Florida, I want a lot more Democrats than previous governors have been able to do. I think it's great in a general election to build a big tent, but to win a Republican primary, you got to be able to what you're doing, like.
Okay, whatever.
Texts that I can read have been found in Israel. 3,000-year-old Jewish coins have been found. So if you find 0 Palestinian artifacts and thousands of Jewish artifacts, then who are the indigenous people? The state of Palestine. The next question is more of a question for your imagination. Let's say we wake up tomorrow and from the river to the sea, Palestine is free of Israel and Jews. The Palestinians have a state. What do you imagine this country would be like? Based on how the Palestinian Authority and Hamas govern today, I think it would be like all its neighboring Arab Muslim countries, a country where gay people are thrown into jail if they are lucky and thrown from rooftops if they are not so lucky, a country with no human rights, where women don't enjoy the same rights as men, no democracy, a failing economy? Now, I might be wrong. This is a theoretical question. I'm basing my assumption on the way they have functioned up until now. If you think differently, please let me know what you think the Palestinian state would be like and what you are basing your assumptions on, the R word. I can talk a lot about the conflict, and I actually do. This is my life now, and I'm going to keep on doing it because it is important. But there is one very clear way to judge who is on the side of morality and who is not. Women. Look at how each side treats women. The Palestinians have assaulted hundreds of Israeli women, and how many Palestinian women have been subjected to the R word by Israeli soldiers? 0. As a feminist, I think that this tells the whole story. If there are tens of thousands of Israeli soldiers fighting the Hamas rapists, Ymar Shmam, in Gaza, and not a single Palestinian woman is assaulted, that tells us a great deal about Israel and the Israeli soldiers. Here, I'm not even going to ask you to prove me wrong, because nothing you can say about it is smarter than what I just said. In Hebrew, there is a saying, tell me who your friends are and I will tell you who you are. I assume that the same phrase exists in many other languages because it is so true. Now, let's have a look at the Israelis. We are accused of colonialism, apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and genocide, and we also have a terrible, heavy accent when we speak English. I mean, we must be the most terrible people on earth. Yet, if you go to a pro-Israeli rally in Berlin, London, or Wisconsin, you will see zero violence, nothing. Israelis don't burn shops and cars. They don't participate in riots. They don't beat up cops. They don't burn the national flags of the countries they live in. They don't shout hateful slogans. Now look at pro-Palestinian rallies. For people who like to be seen as victims, they are pretty violent. So if you are pro-Palestinian, please explain to me how is it possible that Israelis are blamed for the worst crimes ever, yet they are so peaceful outside Israel, and the Palestinians and their Arabs and Muslim supporters are, how to put it nicely, are quite the opposite. If you're pro-Palestinian, please enlighten me with your smart answers to the questions I just asked. My next videos will be response video to the comments I get. If you're pro-Israel and you like this video, then please give this video a like, subscribe, and feel free to share it. A lot of pro-Palestinians accuse me of being in the pay of the Israeli government. I wish the Israeli government were smart enough to pay me because I have 1,000 video ideas, but I don't have the money or the resources to make them. I am a private individual working by myself for myself. If you want to support me, please share this video.
Yeah, this guy's
There is
based.
a share button below the video, or you can copy the URL and
I have a really sweet kitty on my lap. Yes. This is my kitty. Oh my god, you're so special. So handsome. Love this kitty so much. Look at his big kitty tail. Oh, your little kitty. I love my little kitty. Yes. Prismo's such a good chonko. You're my little chonko. You're my little chonko. You're my chonko boy. Oh, do I dare to? This is probably going to be infuriating.
Yeah? What do you like about eating the corpses of murder victims?
It tastes pretty fucking good.
Yeah? So does taste justify forcing someone into a gas chamber and having their throat slit?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that means it's okay for me to force you into a gas chamber because I might like the taste of human meat.
You
Yeah?
can get me into a gas chamber.
Innocent animals are brutally murdered, raped, tortured.
Dude, these people are just fucking losers. Why do they even bother interacting if they're just going to be this intellectually dishonest?
And abused on your behalf. Shame on you.
I was just wondering if you want to, I bought them for you. Would you like
Bought them for me.
Just for you.
Do you know who that is?
It's my granddad's chicken, actually.
So that's a baby chicken.
No, it's an adult one. He's already.
Yeah, I don't think I can handle watching this. Everybody is kind of like a piece of shit. Ahmed Donatillers, am I right for choosing to leave Islam? Tell me why Islam is so toxic. Only reason I hesitated for so long is because I believed in heaven and hell since so much evil exists. Read caption for this post. People with an IQ below 85 are incapable of theory of mind. They cannot conceptualize someone else's emotions, nor can they conceptualize their own future in hypotheticals. Africans on average have an IQ between 70 and 80, depending on the region. I think that's really misleading. There's a big cultural aspect to IQ tests. So I don't know if that's actually accurate. Prim Prim. Prim Prim. What you doing there, Prim Prim? Come here, Prim Prim. Come on. Don't go on my desk. This cat is so good. What are you doing over there? Why are you going on my desk, you big chonko? Such a sweet chonko boy. Yeah, I've seen this clip. It's fucking
Let's
crazy.
go. Some of them, they're not screaming. It's like they wanted to be raped, you see. She also grabs you, you see, no
It's
more
like
crying.
she's enjoying it, you know,
see.
even though she isn't, but it's like she's enjoying it.
Do you think it's right? Do you think it's right to rape?
Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong.
What about the consequences of what you're doing in terms of how that affects
Exactly.
the person that's raped?
Yeah, the consequences, we look at that all the time, you know, because it happens, she might scream, you know, people might wake up. A lot of people, especially.
I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about the emotional effect, the physical effect it has on the girl.
Yeah. Sometimes we know that we might rape her and wake up tomorrow with...
I can't believe I'm saying this, but fuck US Senator Bernie Sanders. It's ironic that he's doing this and that he's ethnically Jewish SMH.
Force vote freeze aid to Israel. Jewish senator moves to require Biden administration to investigate any alleged war crimes by Israel and Gaza. Holy fuck, dude. If Bernie's actually doing that, what a piece of shit. That is crazy. Yeah, well, I've lost all respect for Bernie Sanders. Thanks for the donation, Ben.
viruses ourselves, like HIV, you know.
What about regretting what you've done to the girl?
I also do regret about it, because if she fell pregnant, what will be that baby's father? Who will be that baby's father?
But what about her person?
Hassan Biker interviewed this Houthi pirate live on Twitch today. Why the fuck is he allowed to platform terrorism on Twitch and they ban motherfuckers for other retarded shit?
Yemeni pirates posting casual TikToks while the entire Western Imperial Corps are having a meltdown about their blockade and on their ships. Funniest shit in 2024. Dude, what the fuck? That is fucking crazy, dude. Hassan should be deplatformed off of just everything. YouTube, Twitch. He's a fucking piece of shit. Thanks for the donation, Darth Putin.
Personal feelings.
Yeah, that is terrifying. These people should not be allowed to live. Dodo Donatillers, Iran also bombed Iraq and Syria. Where are all the anti-imperialist people who think the U.S. is the most evil country because we bomb terrorists? They don't say nothing about Iran or China imperialism.
Iraq has summoned
Well, it's only wrong when white people do it, apparently.
the Iranian ambassador in Baghdad in protest after Tehran launched missile strikes into northern Iraq, killing several civilians. Baghdad called the strikes a blatant violation of its sovereignty and vowed to lodge a complaint with the UN Security Council. Iran's Revolutionary Guard said it fired the missiles at what it said was an Israeli
Dude, why is Iran even part of the UN?
spy headquarters in Erbil, the seat of Iraq's northern semi-autonomous Kurdish region.
The strikes hit an upscale area near the US consulate in Erbil, the capital of northern Iraq's semi-autonomous Kurdish region. They were claimed by Iran's Revolutionary Guards. Touring the ruins, Iraq's national security advisor dismissed Tehran's claims that the target had been a headquarters for Israeli spies.
Regarding the claims of it being a base for Israel's Mossad, we have looked into the place and walked around every corner of this house, and everything indicates that it is a family home for an Iraqi businessman from Erbil. So the claim is false.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I would clap these cheeks so hard.
I don't think she has any cheeks. So I do not find her attractive at all. I think you have odd tastes. Thanks for the donation though, Dick Down. Dodo donate $10. I'm hoping Bernie is just playing 4D chess here and actually what he's doing is recognizing that young people are anti-Biden because he's pro-Israel. So Bernie's getting them back on board and will shepherd them into voting for Biden. That's not... Yeah, I don't think that's what's going on. I think Bernie is just having a retard moment. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Why does the New York Times so often get military topics wrong? The conflict in Gaza has been raging for about 3 months now, and Israel effectively lost the information war 10 days into the fight. A big reason for that was the New York Times. I'm going to talk about media bias, but first give me 60 seconds to pay the bills here. This video is sponsored by Private Internet Access. I recently, as well as iOS and Android, multiple devices at the same time. When I want to watch Archer, I just fire up Private Internet Access, put it into security. I ended up working for Accenture, where I mainly program C4ISR software. This means command, control, communications, computers, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance. Basically, I use software to find bad guys, and then I gave that information to my client, who would either continue surveillance or use more kinetic measures against the target. So I know a little bit about intelligence collection, analysis, and how the military works. Also note that all the files associated with this video, search terms, and links can be found at ryanbeth.substack.com absolutely for free. Let's get started. On November 17th, 2023, an explosion occurred at Ali Arab Hospital in the Gaza Strip. At 2:12 p.m., the New York Times retweeted, "Breaking news, an Israeli airstrike hit Gaza Hospital on Tuesday, killing at least 200 Palestinians, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry, which said the number of casualties was expected to rise."
Yeah, I love how they say that. According to the Palestinian Health Ministry.
This gets shared about 700 times. By 2:52, the New York Times sends out another tweet saying, "Update, at least 500 people were killed by an Israeli airstrike at a Gaza hospital," the Palestinian Health Ministry said. Follow our live coverage. This gets shared about 600 times.
Bernie's just looking out for the well over 20,000 women and children lost in the last few months. That's all. Congratulations, you're banned. There have been about 20,000 Palestinian deaths, and roughly half those people are terrorists. So, yeah. 20,000 women and children haven't been fucking killed. Just fucked hard.
At 3:46 Eastern Time in the U.S., the New York Times reports the following on the front page of their website. Israel strike kills hundreds in hospital, Palestinians say. By 6:46 p.m., the headline was changed to Israelis and Palestinians blame each other for...
Right, hear me out, my man. In this loud, can he not shout this retard? Also, did you see this lol comical fuck Islam?
انتصارا لمظلومية الشعب الفلسطيني في قطاع غزة الذي يتعرض حتى هذه اللحظة لأبشع أنواع المجازر من قبل الكيان الصهيوني وفي إطار الرد على العدوان الأمريكي.
Okay, I can't listen to this. Also, did you see this lol comical fuck Islam? Let me see. Houthi rebels released a video showing armed fighters storming a mock Israeli settlement. Ahmed donated $2. If you're going to ignore half my question, I'm not donating again. Why do people from Muslim countries have below average intelligence when they claim their religion is chosen one and everyone else will go to hell even though they live better lives? I didn't see that you asked that, but one theory for why a lot of Muslim majority countries have a lower IQ is that they have a lot of inbreeding. They do not restrict marrying and having children with first cousins. So because they have so much inbreeding within families, that lowers average IQ. So that's one theory I've heard. On top of that, I think there's a big cultural bias when it comes to IQ testing. But that is something I've heard. Thanks for the donation, Ahmed. That's not very smart. So this is a live fire drill. Yeah, hopefully they end up accidentally shooting each other. Okay, well, yeah, that's gonna happen. That's retarded. Thanks for the donation, Booty Kim.
Blast at Gaza hospital that killed hundreds. But the damage had already been done. So how did the New York Times get this so wrong? You know, I've been doing YouTube for almost 3 years now, and I've spoken with quite a few journalists who wanted to interview me. And they wanted to interview me because they're researching stories about tanks or misinformation or anti-tank weapons, and they want to get the story right. Nobody goes into work wanting to do a bad job. There's this excellent book by Sidney Dekker called A Field Guide.
That's bullshit. When it comes to the New York Times, that's totally untrue.
To understand.
New York Times is incredibly biased against Israel, so they're deliberately spreading misinformation.
Human error. And it theorizes that there is no such thing as human error. It's really that all human error is a product of competing priorities or focus of attention. Now, Sidney Dekker is mainly known for investigating plane crashes, and it's safe to say that no pilot gets up in the morning intending to crash, right? And by that same logic, no journalist goes into work in the morning going, boy, I hope I get a story wrong today. I hope I totally screw it up. I have to print a retraction. I want to totally lose the trust of the public today, right? Nobody does that. Now, journalists are under enormous pressure in a 24-hour news cycle to be the first to publish. But what if there's more than that? What if the problem isn't competing priorities or a 24-hour news cycle, but an underlying culture of military ignorance in the newsroom? When the Ali Arab Hospital explosion occurred, I made a video where I explained how to use Intelligence Community Directive 203, or ICD 203, to analyze the most likely cause of the explosion. And this can be used for almost anything in the intelligence community. ICD 203 is the gold standard in the intelligence community to evaluate probability. So in an explosion like this, there's basically 4 possibilities: an intentional bombing by Israel, an accidental bombing by Israel, an intentional explosion set by Hamas, or an accidental explosion caused by Hamas. Now, there could be other possibilities like a propane tank explosion or a meteorite, but as the old medical axiom goes, when you hear the sound of hooves, think horses, not zebras. And yeah, meteorite and propane explosions, they happen during wartime as well, but we're trying to find the most likely cause.
Dodo Donate Tellers, Russians are blaming Biden for their lack of heating. This is the second time I see this. I saw a vid before of Russians protesting against Biden for having no heat. Joe Biden is apparently responsible for Russia's heating problems. Not sure who did the artwork, but it's a curious concept. And at his age, not sure he could swing a sledgehammer. Yeah. The only people to blame for Russians' lack of heating is the Russian government. Bizarre that they're blaming Biden. Well, hope those fuckers freeze. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Of something. So let's look at number one, the intentional bombing of that hospital by Israel. Well, what is the tactical or strategic advantage that Israel gets from attacking a hospital weighed against the international outcry of performing a strike? You're not going to drop a JDAM or Joint Direct Attack munition, which incidentally costs between $21,000 and $36,000 on a hospital for the lulz. These weapon systems have a dollar value and you're limited in stock. So it's really not something I see Israel doing intentionally without a really good reason. Now, would Israel attack a hospital if they had good intelligence that a high-value Hamas leader was there? Yeah, they might. But they'd be a little more surgical than using the kind of...
Richard Loves, Cock and Cum, donate $2. That blue-dyed Israel guy who you're reacting to is debunked by Lonerbox's main channel on a bunch of false claims he made, not saying he's wrong about most of what he says, but he might not be a reliable source. Yeah, I think I saw Lonerbox post something about that. Probably not going to have time today to react to this, but maybe tomorrow night's stream we can do that. Thanks for the donation, Richard. Loves
weapon that would cause 500 casualties that the Palestinian Health Ministry claimed. They would use a smaller warhead, a smaller guided missile. So the disadvantage of a strike combined with the incredibly high number of casualties makes an intentional Israeli strike unlikely. So let's look at number two. Could this have been an accidental Israeli strike? Well, JDAMs, or Joint Direct Attack munitions, like the kind used by Israel, are guided precisely to a location by GPS. It's not unheard of for GPS to fail, especially if there's tall buildings around that can interrupt the signal. I'm sure you've pulled out of a building in your car in the city and your GPS, Waze doesn't work, right? Waze has to establish a connection first. So that can happen, but precision-guided munitions don't tend to fail that often. And Gaza is what's called a permissive environment, meaning that there's nobody around there with jammers intentionally trying to jam the GPS signal to get those bombs to fall off course. So I would call that an unlikely. So let's look at number three. Could Hamas have intentionally detonated an explosive? I don't think so. Every weapon system has a dollar value, and Hamas knows that it's not going to get any more supplies once the invasion happens. So it wouldn't make tactical or strategic sense to waste a weapons system on, what, international sympathy? Plus, the casualty count is way too high. Even the worst vehicle-borne improvised explosive devices used in Iraq or Afghanistan caused 50 to 100 casualties, although a recent one in Mogadishu was far higher. So I would call Hamas intentionally exploding a weapons system for international sympathy to be unlikely. But what about number four? What about the possibility of Hamas accidentally causing the explosion with a failed rocket? We've seen it in the past. Between 15 and 20% of Palestinian Qassam rockets fail. So I would certainly call rocket failure to be likely. As it turned out, that's exactly what happened. Now, the thought exercise that I just did with ICD-203 could be done by a 19-year-old U.S. Army 35 Foxtrot all-source intelligence analyst after about 13 weeks of training. So, if a 19-year-old kid could do it, a 19-year-old kid who didn't even go to college, why couldn't the New York Times? So I looked into the three reporters who contributed to the story.
Well, yeah, they're just biased. They deliberately try to push out misinformation.
Right. They were Aaron Boxerman, Patrick Kinsley, and Hiba Yazbek. And it didn't look like any of these journalists served in the military. And if you want to look for yourself, the links to the LinkedIn pages for these journalists are on my Substack. Now, not having served in the military is not necessarily a disqualifier for writing about the military. But if you're writing about basic military and intelligence topics and you don't have the same level of understanding as a 19-year-old kid who just graduated Army basic training, maybe you ought to double check your sources.
I went vegan 4 years ago after watching some of your videos. I've always been athletic and am currently power building. What supplements would you recommend for strength and hypertrophy? Thanks.
Just creatine and protein powder. There's not really anything else that'll give you any results aside from that. Thanks for the donation, though, Dylan. Appreciate it.
Or at least maybe you ought to have some people on the team who know a little bit about the military. I mean, the New York Times thinks it's important in other areas. Get Aporia Mandeville. She's a New York Times science writer. She has a BS in chemistry and an MS in biochemistry. I got a feeling she knows what she's talking about when she writes about infectious diseases. Or Jesse Wegman. He writes about the Supreme Court and legal affairs. He attended the New York University School of Law. He can probably talk about law. Now, that doesn't mean a food critic needs to be a chef or a theater critic needs to be an actor. It probably helps, but I don't think it's totally necessary. But for complex topics like science or law, the New York Times seems to make an effort in putting the right people in the right places. The military is a complex topic, and it's only getting harder, especially as we see the advent of unmanned systems, AI-powered loitering munitions, and information warfare. So how many people who work for the New York Times have served in the military? What's their base level of institutional knowledge? So to start, let's see if we can figure out how many people work for the New York Times. So if you go to LinkedIn and you do a simple search for people who work for the New York Times in the US, you arrive at a figure of about 8,700 people. Now, there could be errors in here. There may be people who claim they work for the New York Times when maybe they're a freelancer who sold a story once, or they switched jobs and never updated their LinkedIn. But it's about the best I can do with open source resources here. Let's do another.
Can you review this? Your opinion. I feel he's genuine and wants to make a difference in the world.
You didn't give me any link. If you give me a link, then I can take a look. Thanks for the donation, though, Alan. Ahmed donated $2 3 years ago. My second cousin wanted to marry my sister in Egypt. He works as a judge there. My parents were mad at my sister for refusing the arranged marriage and didn't talk to her for a year. Is Islam is bad due to the religion and ignorance they follow? Yeah, I guess. That's a weird question. Islam's bad for a number of reasons. They have terrible values, but there's also a culture within Islam that doesn't respect human rights. They don't respect women. Tons of things. Thanks for that donation, Ahmed.
Search and see how many people who work for the New York Times have served in the military. Now that number is 29. If you want to replicate this search, you can get the exact search link at ryanmcbeth.substack.com. So, the New York Times employs 29 veterans out of 8,700 staff. That's less than 1%. That's 0.33% to be exact. That's roughly the same odds as you drawing a straight in poker. And not all of these veterans are reporters who have a direct effect on stories. Some are sound engineers or project managers. And I think a little piece of the New York Times puzzle may have fallen into place here. Maybe the New York Times gets the military side of
Alan Wiltsius donated $2.
Hey guys, I'm really excited about today. I'm going to go inside right now and I'm going to do a recording. Over the past 6 months, I've written 3 books about ideas that I think are going to transform the future of being human. And as I found out, recording to do, I was working this morning on speaking slowly to enunciate every word, because oftentimes I find that my brain works so much. You know what? If I wasn't an entrepreneur, I'd be Eminem. We just don't know about it. So for example, look throughout history, the Earth is not the center of the universe. It actually orbits the sun in a larger galaxy. Or there's small bacteria. I wrote a book about this, Don't Die. The idea that I'm presenting is that for the history of Homo sapiens, death has always been inevitable. For the first time in history, we can finally say with a straight face, maybe not. Today, I'm going to record the introduction to the book. It's called Zeroism. And it's meant to give some context, like who am I, where am I from, how did these dedicate time Saturday morning with a clear head. And I struggled with my misalignment. And I had to rewrite it.
Okay, I didn't need to watch that, but yeah, Brian Johnson seems like a well-meaning guy. Thanks for that donation, Alan.
The story wrong because they just don't have the foundation of personnel on board to get it right. Ask yourself this: How many goals does soccer have? It's 2 goals, right? How do you know that? Well, you probably played soccer, or you've seen soccer on TV, you've walked by a soccer field on the way home from the park. So, if someone came to you and said, no, soccer actually has 4 goals, not 2, you'd be pretty suspicious, right? Because it flies in the face of your entire life experience and all of your institutional knowledge about soccer. You have this baseline of institutional knowledge. So, what if someone came to you and made a claim about a war crime, or military hardware, or the casualty figures of an attack? Would you have the tools in your toolkit to raise suspicion? And if you don't, but your job is to cover conflict, why the heck haven't you made an effort to hire those people? The New York Times has an entire webpage devoted to DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is very, very important. They have a plan to increase hiring of women and people of color. And that plan ends with the sentence, "We are convinced that by fully unleashing the talents of a diverse workforce, it could be stronger still with richer journalism, a broader audience, and a stronger business." But the plan doesn't include hiring more veterans. And based on what I've seen, veterans are the most unrepresented minority at the New York Times. And this lack of veterans has a direct effect.
This guy's being way too charitable. New York Times is just anti-Israel. Like, that's just plain and simple why they're putting out these ridiculous, stupid fucking stories. Like, you don't need any kind of military experience to see that, like, yeah, in all likelihood, Israel isn't responsible for, these hospital bombings. You just need common fucking sense. Oh, so they're just anti-Israel. Let's see.
Age of fear didn't satisfy Prophet Muhammad. He upscaled his torment toward the Jews. The messenger of God said, "Whoever of the Jews falls into your hands, kill him." This is an order from a sadistic person, and he is the role model of Muslims. This is Muhaisa bin Masood. He is a very devout Muslim, who will do anything that Prophet Muhammad asked him to do. He left the mosque after the prayer.
I have to please Allah by obeying the Prophet's order to kill the Jews.
Good afternoon, O Ibn Masud.
Oh, good afternoon to you too, O Ibn Sinana. How is your business today?
Oh, thank you for asking. It's very good.
Die, you infidel. May Allah please with your blood, you filthy kafir. I better run away now.
His non-Muslim older brother, Huwaiza bin Masood, was in the house.
What happened with you? Why do you look so scared? I just killed Ibn Sinana. What? Why did you kill him? Because Rasulullah told me to do so. Have you really killed him? Yes. I killed him. By Allah, you have much fat in your belly from his wealth. By Allah, if he who commanded me to kill him had commanded me to kill you, I would have cut off your head.
Ahmed donated $2. If I message anyone on OnlyFans, can they see my banking details like name on my card or any personal info like email address signed up with? If you wanted to find out, or is my info secure? You can't see anybody's real name or banking info. Do you know if I screenshot any posts? Not sub to you, by the way. You can screenshot posts with software, but you can't like directly download anything. Thanks for the donation though, Ahmed.
What, if Muhammad had ordered you to kill me, you would have killed me?
Yes, by Allah, if he had ordered me to kill you, I would have cut off your head.
By Allah, a faith which has brought you this is indeed a marvel.
Since then Huwaiza accepted Islam. What can
the
we
fuck? That's insane.
learn from this story? The story teaches us that Muhaisa blindly followed Prophet Muhammad's orders, even if they were considered evil, believing them to be Allah's command. He disregarded his own mind and common sense in order to please Allah and followed Islam without question. Initially, Muhaisa's brother Huwaiza was angry at the murder committed by Muhaisa against Ibn Sinana. However, his anger stemmed not from having a high character, but from losing the benefits of a kind-hearted Jewish traitor. Huwaiza is actually someone who enjoys violence and craves power. When he saw the power and influence that came with absolute compliance to Muhammad, he immediately converted to Islam. This pattern is also seen in the formation of Hamas and other terrorist groups. Those who have a love for violence and a thirst for power are easily drawn to join these violent groups, as they adhere to brutal Islamic teachings. On the other hand, those who value peace and possess common sense firmly reject it.
Yeah, dude, those fucking stories are just crazy. People who joined Islam were just fucking mentally deranged. Alright, I think I'm gonna end the stream here tonight. It is late. But should be streaming tomorrow night around the same time, probably a little bit earlier. I didn't get enough sleep yesterday, that's why the stream started later tonight, but should be streaming around 7 or 8 tomorrow night, so see you all then. Big thanks to everybody who donated in Streamlabs, really appreciate it. And sweet dreams.